Hi everyone, welcome to another Saturday. You've reached the Synth Geekery show, episode number 230. And today we are going to be talking about the best meme, or best synth meme, we should probably qualify that, for 2023, shown on the show, not just generally out there in the ether, just ones that we have shown in the show. So we'll go through those, and you guys can pick which one you think's the best. So stick around for that. We've got regular segments, as we always do. There will be some Christmas-themed memes this week. I've dug into the archives. Yes. We've got actually a lot of news today. So unlike some other people have mentioned, there wasn't much news. There is a lot of news. And, stay tuned for all the news, because I think you'll enjoy it. And we've got a brilliant set of people sitting here waiting to say hello to you. And here they are. Look at all of them in their amazement. Starting with Darren, and then Andy, and then we've got Ian below, and Chris. And we've got the chatties in that little box in the right-hand corner. But don't forget, we do have StreamYard. The StreamYard link is the bottom of the screen right now, but also you can actually click on it in the chat window. It's pinned up the top. Click on that, it takes you straight there. If you want, you can hide your camera and just have your audio. Come on and join us. This will probably be the last show before Christmas. Maybe I might sneak one in before the new year, but it's definitely, we're going to have a week off next week because it's Christmas. So come on in and join us for a bit of festivities and some fun. Do want to say a big thank you to all of my Patreons and channel members, and we can do that by just showing you this. Yes, big thanks to the channel members as well. Now, you guys can all, if you want to, let's come in close. If you want to be part of this show, there's lots and lots of ways to be part of it. I mean, StreamYard is one. Down below, somewhere around here somewhere, down below there is a thanks button. There's a thumbs up. There's a subscribe. Try all these things. You never know. It might well be a channel member might actually help as well. We do have bills to pay. We've got to keep the lights on. And also we've got to keep everyone happy. So yeah, please do support us. It's 5 years about to start next year for this show, which God knows how I've managed to last that long. But we'll talk about that next year. We'll finish off 2023. I think it's been an interesting year this year. What do you reckon, guys? So when I'm saying how's your week been, tell us how your year's been. Let's start with you, Ian.
Okay. Week first then. Sinners Music have put 2 albums out this week. The second album by Tony Imperatis, which is called Time, and Our Christmas Gift to the World, which is a free album called 7 Deadly Sinners, Volume 1. Don't have to buy it. You don't have to pay anything. It's all, just tell us and you can take it. And you'll recognise some of the music in there, I think, really. So we've done that. That was released this morning. I'm having real problems with this studio. The door's got to be changed. The floor's got to go before I can sell my house. But that's a whole different thing. This is my other project. This is my father's. Well, it was an amplifier. It's just a speaker at the moment. But 1962 Westminster or WEM amplifier, and I'm going to put that in it, which I bought this week, which is a little 20-watt amplifier. So that's my next project. How's my year been? Overall, the year's been all right, actually. I think Sinners Music has put out lots of great music. The only downside would be I thought by now we'd have been out of here and down in Somerset, but apart from that, I've had a good year, really. Oh yes.
Big thanks for Dave.
Yeah, good on you, Dave. And in fact, thank you, Dave, because he bought Tony's album on Friday when it was launched. So thanks for that, Dave. So yeah, good year overall.
Awesome. Congrats on the next album too. So yeah, we should probably open up your Bandcamp page and show that in a sec, so we can let people know the link and stuff like that. So I'll get busy with that. But while we're going through the hollows, I can do that in the background. Let me just quickly show the super chat from before it just scrolls up. Big thanks, Dave, for the $9.99. It's like one of those prices, where you're trying to. Tell people it's not really $10. It's $9.99. And while we're at it, we've just got another one that snuck in. £5 a year sounds good value. Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah, I should be paying you guys though, right?
Don't we get royalties?
You get modules sold, buddy.
Yep.
Because it looks nicer because you get to see these little doggins.
Oh,
isn't that cute?
Is cute.
Let's say who else can we pick on today? Why don't we try with Chris? How's your week been and how's your year been? Thanks, Kent, by the way, for the £25.
Yeah, cheers, mate. I have to say thank you to David as well because he bought a module from me.
Hey,
yay! So thank you, David, and a few other guys did too. In fact, they've all sold out. So I've had an awesome year because
Chris.
I'm on schedule for what I sort of set as a sort of a stretch goal to get it done by the end of the year. It was kind of like, a launch of a module that is by the end of the year was kind of I didn't know if I was going to make that. So that's been awesome. So yeah, now I've got to move on to the next stretch goal, which is to get the DIY kits ready to make all my DIY friends happy. I've already had a few inquiries about DIY, and it's very nice to be able to say back to the person, actually, they are coming shortly. That's awesome. So the year has been pretty awesome. It's been pretty damn good fun spending it with you guys every week. And spent more time on this show than I ever thought was going to happen. So it's been a nice, pleasant surprise.
We sucked you in.
It's been a nice, pleasant surprise. So you didn't scare me off in any way, so you've done well. So and apart from that, even though I started the year with some saddish news about my place of work shutting down. It's actually gone quite well, and they're treating us like human beings. It's really good. And the last 6 months starts next year. I've got other opportunities I need to look at, and I've been learning new skills and different programming skills, what I normally come with, because I'm generally a C++ programmer, and now I'm branching out into front end and back end web development, which is pretty much the main thing in demand these days. So I've doing good on sort of training side and going forward, but it's all been pretty darn cool. So I'm pretty happy with the year. And thank you very much to the man over there, who's about to come back on the screen, for helping me out tremendously this year with my ambitions on modular journey. Thank you, man.
Yeah, my pleasure. This button you meant.
That button.
Yay.
Yeah. What did I just do?
Thanks you guys. Thanks all the beta testers. Thank you, Andrew Brooks, and Grace, because she's involved in it as well. And you guys have been really, it's just been really fun. It could have gone south, and it could have gone not fun, but it's turned out to be great fun. So
definitely good you're having some success with it.
Yeah.
I think what you've seen so far is probably small compared to where it could be, and so what I've got something planned for your GP82. We'll see. We'll have a chat about it before we go public with the idea, but I honestly think once this idea hits the public, there'll be a few big name people that will promote it, and then you might see a tidal wave. Yes. Okay. Who's next? We have Darren. How are you, mate? How's the week and the year
Good day.
been?
Hello. Well done, Chris. Getting
Oh, thanks, man.
your modules.
Thanks, heaps.
Not only just getting them into the wide world, but starting to sell them and people starting to enjoy them and want them, which is, like I said, that was probably the uppermost that you thought was going to happen, and it's happened. So nice one on that. How's my year been? Well, start week. I've just got back from Blackpool EMOM, not literally, but early mornings. Week's just been, the week's just gone. I don't know where it's gone actually. I'm putting stuff together, more cables, little boxes, all for the live rig, the new live rig, which you know what it's like. I mean, you think it's going to be easy, but it starts turning into a bit more of a pain than you originally thought. So that's been going on. The year's been good because I think I released a couple of albums this year. I don't think Rave Dave released his album this year. Oh, did he? I can't remember. But a couple of albums gone out. I'm playing live first, which was a sort of goal, but not a goal, if that makes any sense. I sort of put that as, I'll probably play live, maybe not, and then ended up playing live before the end of the year. So that was a small goal reached, and now I'm making bigger live rigs and bigger sets to play live next year, more around the different places rather than, I'll be going to Jamie's EMOMs and other places as well. A few other things that might be happening in the future. So yeah, it's sort of, I think, a bit like Chris's. It started off just okay, I suppose, and then as the years gone on, it seems to have got better and better. And now, hopefully, when we go into the next year, it'll be as good, if not better.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think you've done extremely well this year with your live stuff, and also your tracks, as you always do, pumping out more tracks than I can even imagine, which is pretty cool. And the Purple Man, Purple Man's been interesting.
The Purple Man. Well, he's been a bit quiet, if you've noticed, this year. This second half of year anyway. But he's been helping me doing a lot of stuff. But there'll be more Purple Man next year. You'll see him. He'll be a bit more in your face next year. So things are coming. So you just keep. His second album he's a bit upset with because he was supposed to be helping for Christmas, but with him helping me on live stuff, it had to be pushed back to next year. So, but he said because it's going to be pushed back to next year, he's going to do an extra track and a secret track like on the last one, which is going to be something to behold. He says. So I said, whatever you say, it's your album.
Fantastic, fabulous. All right, and we also have Andy here. And it's definitely not last year.
That guy.
All that sort of stuff. How are you, mate? How's your week been? How's your year been?
Well, year's a mixed bag. Of course, all the work bullshit was always fun, but other than that, I can't really complain. Doing hardware jam stuff every week, forcing me to make more stuff, and some tech demos and videos here and there randomly. Lots of EMOM stuff in San Francisco I've been doing. It's been actually really cool. I haven't bought a ton of stuff, but using more of the stuff I've already bought. Doing lots of live stream stuff for science related channels as well as the synthy stuff. That's always fun. And speaking of that, thanks for coming by the thing yesterday. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it was,
I enjoyed that.
Cachet to have Ramsey show up on the stream. So actually, all the ProSynth guys were there except for Ty, pretty much. The regular ProSynth guys showed up on there, so that was fun.
It was a bit late for me, Andy, so I watched a bit of it this morning.
Yeah, I started late anyway. I was supposed to start about an hour before I did, but I had to run some errands because things are going on. But it was a fun show and lots of good stuff. I was talking about little bits on the Korg little bits because I haven't used them for a while, and it's funny because the SQ1 actually has a little bit sync jack on it, so they planned ahead by building some stuff for little bits. So I need to hook that up now that I found all the modules again. I'll make a couple of videos of those because the quality is actually pretty good. It's basically a monotron broken apart and or monotron delay and all that stuff broken apart and component pieces, and you just put it together however you want, modular style. So it's actually quite powerful. There's even some bend sensors. You can make a glove out of it and do like an image and heap thing with it. There's some pressure sensors, microphone sensors, and accelerometers and stuff. So it's actually more deep than people realize, and something just made for kids. So yeah, I'm gonna start playing with that. But other than that, I just plugging away usual stuff. Can't think of anything else going on gear-wise, but yeah, always happy to be. This is always the highlight of my week, pretty much. As much as I look disheveled and I've lost sleep for these shows, I really do look forward to this show. It's when it's been a bad week occasionally, this is something to look forward to. So I thank you for that, Ramsey, and everybody else.
Yeah,
So,
here.
Yay.
I agree with
good
that.
stuff.
Cheers.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks.
And here,
Yeah.
indeed.
Yay.
Oh, and thanks,
I'm just
Chris, for
looking at-
the module, and good luck on all that stuff. I was happy
cheers,
to be
mate.
part of the testing for that. So
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just looking at the little bit stuff on the Korg dealer portal. It's not available anymore, which seems a bit of a shame because I always thought it was quite cool. The little bit.
The other manufacturer might still be doing it though. What's the name of that company?
I don't know if I gotta
yeah,
look
it
them
was
up.
doing-
Like, we were talking about this yesterday, but I didn't
Yeah.
even double check if Little Bits even exists anymore. It was an Indian lady that started it
Yeah,
for STEM, but I haven't read about it for years. So
it was supposed to be an
Yeah.
educational thing for India. That's what it was supposed to be.
a little expensive for people starting out, but it's also super easy to use. So
I think-
that goes a long way.
I remember reading
Yeah.
something about the plan was that she wanted to get it into schools, like, you know, instead of getting it in mum and dad's hands, she wanted to get it into the schools and do it through, you know, whoever's the teacher running the STEM, you know, subject in primary schools, elementary schools, around.
Oh, there's tons of it on Amazon still. So
Yeah. Okay, cool. Anyway,
Right.
digressing. Big hello to all the chatties, as I like to do every week. And you guys need to check me if I ever forget to do this, because this is one of the most important parts of the show. I think Darren might have been first in Yellow Guernsey for you, Darren. Or was I wrong? No, it wasn't Darren. It was someone else. Might have been you though, Darren. You can have it anyway. Big hello to Inverted Popes, which you will see him as one of our moderators, and is also an illustrious channel member, wearing the badge with pride. He's an amazing guy. Gosh, you should check out some of his videos on his YouTube channel. They're incredible. The music that he does is really, really cool. Not to say that no one else's music is just as cool, because it is. But his stuff, check it out. Big hello to Bert, ASIO Head. Homegrown's there. Man with a beard. Watch out. He's going to whack you with it. Wagoo's there. Wagoo's one of the stalwarts of this show. He's been around since probably show number 2 or 3. We'll tell you which one it is. He's got a memory like a lock, that guy.
Yeah,
He even
Mr.
tells me
Google.
off if I forget stuff. Big hello to David, one of our channel members and big supporter of this channel, and we love you, David. Keep up the good work. We are going to have a little look at the SQ-64 in Saturday Sonority a bit later, so if you guys are interested in that, stick around. Matt Brown is there. Half God, Half Beast is also there. Kent, what an amazing guy. Channel member, gives us money, tells us jokes, entertains us with other shows. Oh, brilliant to have you, mate. And we are not worthy to have you around, seriously. Pat Brady's there. Matthew Harness is also there. Who else? Scrolling. That's what I'm doing right now, scrolling. X101's there as well. Tracker Jack. And if anyone's new and you're sort of lurking and you think, I don't know if I should go, and I don't know these people, they're all synth nerds. We're musicians. Don't worry about us. You never know, you might need a keyboard player in a band one day. You got to be nice to us. Jump into chat, say hello, tell us where you're from. You know, it's all good. I saw James Glue's in there. Good on you, mate.
Yeah.
Noticed that your name was mentioned in the car drive video that Sonic State put up with Gaz and Nick, and I forget the name of the guy sitting in the back seat, and they were talking about Jim's EMOM performance. I was saying it's one of the best that they've ever seen. That's pretty good recommendation, I would say, mate. Give yourself a pat on the back for that one. If you haven't seen it, you're going to have to watch 50 minutes. I don't know whereabouts it was in that video, but you're going to have to watch 50 minutes of a car ride from Sheffield back down to I think it's Bath. I'm not sure where they went.
Yeah,
to.
it is Bath. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it's scrolled off the screen now. So if I've missed Paul, I think Paul Holmes I didn't mention, Kosh Dukai I didn't mention. If I've missed anyone else, throw your synth at the screen and disgust. Yep, that's what you got to do. Don't forget, there is StreamYard. It's sitting and no one is going in StreamYard today. StreamYard's feeling very, very lonely. I don't know why you guys, you're probably busy. I know it's Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon for you. Sometimes you're probably, I don't know, you might be sneaking watching the show at work, watching it on the phone. Let us know where you are and how you're watching it. If you're watching it on your desktop or on the phone, be interesting to know, because it kind of gives us an idea of, I understand if you're sort of sneaking a little peek at the show and you're at work and you don't want the boss to know. I get it. That's pretty cool. Or you might be setting up for a gig tonight. Who knows what you're doing? Anyway, we should get cracking, I think. We should get cracking. Paul Holmes said he's home on the Mac. Man with the beard says he's on a laptop. There you go. Interesting. Right. Well, before we get into our regular segments, why don't we award the best meme for 2023, the synth meme that is, based on the ones that we've shown in the show, of course. And we're going to start it off with a little introduction. Sit back, enjoy the little video. Here we go.
There's the popcorn.
Yes, they were all the memes that we showed this year, I think. I'm pretty sure I got all of them. Can you believe we showed that many memes on this show this year? That's crazy. And we're going to have to go through every single one of them and vote for your favorite. No, just kidding. We're not going to go through every single one of them.
You've got to pick it out from the actual clip as well.
That would be pretty bad. Yeah. You got to pause it. It's one of those TikTok pause games.
11 minutes and 30-second frame, I think.
It was about 20 seconds, actually. Right. So let's have a look. Now, these will be, I can't remember now, 15, something like that. These are going to be in date order. So from January all the way through till December. Yep, we've picked December. We're picking it early. Don't worry, the memes this week aren't really not worthy anyway because they're just Christmas memes and we're just recycling them anyway. Some months I've doubled up because we couldn't decide. You guys remember when we were going through the show, we're saying what's your favorite, and sometimes it's a tiebreaker. All right, so I've picked out the best of every month, so I get to do that. We can't just do it every week. It's going to be we'll be here forever.
There's got to be a gatekeeper.
All right, let's go through them. That's it. We're starting with January. We had the telephone microphone. You guys remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Don't really know how that's going to work. Anyway, next one was I'm leaving you for the Bing chatbot. And if you actually look at that closely, it's actually the laptops talking to each other.
Yeah,
and the two adults are staring with that sort of gasped look on their face. So this was a ChatGPT joke. I made it synthy. I don't know. You guys seem to like it. Anyway, that was February. This is March. This was the Wagoo's favorite. This was the Roland toilet.
That is good, actually.
Yeah.
It's good that I watched all these videos because it's like I can pretty much remember who picked the memes. There was this one. Andy Brooks liked this one.
That's a classic. Yeah,
Yes.
That one is April, I think. And also in April, we had an Australian retailer come in big with their sale where you could buy the actual unboxed one for $100 more. And I said, welcome to Australia, where your gear goes up in value when you open the box.
Wow.
It's funny too because you're still saving $20 according to them. Next, there was the LFO detector. Detects lazy synth players from using LFOs instead of using their hands or muscles.
I do like the LFO.
That was a bit of a Photoshop job. Pretty bad one. I think it said UFO detector originally. One of those scam products. Here we go. There was Volcan Jealous.
Good.
That was some elite Photoshop skills there, getting the Volcas in. Yeah, we enjoyed that. You guys remember his little MIDI rig thing that he had there, where he's got all these little MIDI
Looks like
control
Volcas,
things?
yeah.
They do look like Volcas. No one would know. Then we had the Moog, because obviously Moog was
Stepdaughter, yeah.
bought out now by the same company, so now they've put the Moog badge on it and put the price tag to match. In fact, I've got mine sitting over there in the corner. My little timber duck. And then there's Frozen Tracks. That one, everyone thought that was pretty cute.
It's a cute little thing.
Yeah, that's how you move them. I can't remember what month we're at. It's probably like September now, I guess. And then there was Robbie's favourite was the DX1 Eclipse. So that's a real synthy joke, that one. Then we had your favourite, Andy, and that's the 3.5mm patch cable that arrived from Amazon.
I still get them. I still get massive boxes for stuff. It's wasteful.
Yeah, me too.
One time I got that pouch with nothing in it. It was just air.
Yep.
It's like, this is so light. You guys know nothing's in here, right?
There was something in it then, Andy. There was something in it, Andy.
Well, yeah. From a physics point of view, there was something in it. You're right. But from a shipping point of view, it's nonsense.
This one's a big nod to Synth Memes Facebook group. Now you can have all your favourite synth memes to cherish forever on over 300 .bmp images. .bmp, I love that. On 17 high quality long term storage floppy disks, just $19.95 plus $2.95 shipping and handling. Requires MS-DOS 3.0 or higher. Yeah. Nothing like getting them on a floppy. And then there was, meanwhile, in Australia, while everyone else is sitting enjoying their new Behringer synths, we originally had the Australian up the other way. We because they all said that in Australia down under, that's why we flipped them upside.
Well, according to flat earthers, if there is a globe, you would be like that. So
David's just popped into.
You'll be falling off the globe
into StreamYard, so we'll come and say good day to him in a sec. Getting close to the end of the year. This one would have been November. There was the no paint edition of Electron. Yep. You can bring a new Electron product out and make it more expensive by not painting it. Some people liked it though, I thought. And then the last one, which December, was the if you can afford a truck, you can afford a synthesizer. Updated to today with the Cybertruck in the background. So, yes. Get into the chatties. Tell us what your favourite was. I'll just quickly go through it again. Microphone, ChatBT, Roland toilet, the middle one, middle finger. Good old retailer gets in there. The LFO detector. The Volcan Jealous. God, that was the Moog stepdaughter. Really good. Frozen Tracks with the Ableton logo on it. DX1 Eclipse. Mailbag. Floppy disk. Meanwhile in Australia, Paint Your Synths. Or the Cybertruck edition. Here we go. Let's see what everyone's saying. We're going to go Roland toilet, middle key, Moog woof now. Wow. Toilet finger, toilet or finger, Amazon delivery, toilet, mailbag. Whoa. Jeez. How many people are in the chat?
Yeah, I got to say Roland toilet with honorable mention to Volcan Jealous because that was cool.
Yeah. What about you guys? Chris, what do you think?
Oh, I just put it in the chat. LFO detector for me.
I don't know why it's not showing. Oh, down it's LFO detector. Cool. David, what about you, mate? What are you thinking?
Ooh, I guess I'll go Volca. Jealous. Actually, I really like the truck one at the end too, just because it's so relevant. And
Okay.
Toyota help.
Babs is going Volcan Jealous as well.
Part of the thing about the toilet is I always love the graphics on those toilets. So it just makes me laugh every time I see one. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Roland toilet's got.
I'm sort of leaning towards the toilet on possibly the Amazon one as well.
I'm going to go a middle finger.
Okay.
yeah, that's also good.
Oh, jeez.
We almost need a preferences voting system.
Yeah.
Prize,
close.
second prize.
We're
And
close.
then on the countdown.
It's going to be between the Amazon, the toilet, and the finger. We just need a couple more people to vote. I haven't voted yet.
Right after September 11th, we had a middle finger thing made out of the Twin Towers for the terrorists. Someone made a pretty clever thing with the middle finger for that.
Well, I mean, okay, it's between these three. All right, so let's get them up. It's the
second voting round. That's good.
yeah. So we're going to start. Oh, these two are next to each other. That's easy. So it's
just
the
like
Roland
politics, isn't
toilet.
Just look at that. I mean, come on, that's awesome.
Yeah,
The
it's
graphics
pretty
are great.
It is awesome. It is awesome.
The middle finger.
It's very good.
Oh, the middle finger might be getting it because Bert's just
Yeah,
waiting
you
for it.
see, it's that could be a logo, couldn't it?
And what was the other one? It was
should be a
the
logo, yeah.
Amazon. Where's
Yeah.
the
Amazon.
gone? Where's the Amazon gone?
Amazon's still good. I like that too. But
The
as
Amazon
much
is
as-
a reality. I've had 2 Amazon boxes this week, and there's
yeah,
like that.
it's
The Amazon
it's
one
criminal.
it's related
Yeah.
to our world because we get all our stuff via parcels, right? So it's related, but I think it's not as synthy as the other two. I think someone mentioned that in chat. Kosh to Kosh,
Yeah,
said the
some of
middle
them are sort
finger
of-
is synthy. Yeah.
Some of them are sort of more general.
The Roland toilet is pretty cool because that's very synthy as well. So let's narrow it down to those two, and I think I'm going to leave it up to you guys in video calls here, including you, David. You're part of that now, and actually I'll go across to you in a second and say hello to you. So make your mind up between Roland toilet or the synth middle finger, and put your guesses. I don't know, on a piece of paper maybe, or chuck it into the chat. Chuck it in the chat, it's easier, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, it's going to be between those two.
Oops, got a typo there. Sorry about that.
Okay, toilet, middle finger. Middle finger. Middle finger. What's David saying? What's Chris saying? Middle finger. Middle finger's got it.
Oh,
Don't even need David's vote. Middle finger's got it. There we go. Synth
What a win.
meme of the year. Middle finger.
It is appropriate. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like, I'll play whatever chord I want.
I think we've all wanted to do that to someone at some stage during this year, relating to our, our
Yay.
interest.
Synth meme of the year. There we go. Now, which button is David on? I think he's on that one. There he is.
Hey.
How are you, mate?
Hey, can you hear me?
A little quiet, but we can hear.
Hold on, I'll talk this way. I got a cat in my lap. It's
You have to
Yeah.
Oh,
cat shirt, cat lap.
better behave to get the
Yeah,
claws.
don't-
Yeah. So
I already got him.
But you're interrupt. Is it she or he?
She, Cleopatra.
You're interrupt.
Yeah, Cleo.
You're interrupting her.
No, this is her fun. This is what she loves. The minute I get on,
that makes you Mark Antony.
See, told you.
Yeah.
she wants,
Loves this.
she's still waiting to get on one of your songs, I think.
She,
Well, she's on
She
one
wants
of his songs.
she wants a writing credit or a singing credit.
She's
Yeah,
got one.
she's on.
Got one.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
has. Yeah.
And I put it on
Hang on me.
DistroKid, and so it's kind of protected a little bit. You might get a copyright strike if you try to play Clio, which is exactly what I want to see happen. So that would make my life. Please pay my cat. And,
I'd rather get a claim from you than Kid Rock. So.
Yeah.
Exactly. Anyways, yeah, I'm enjoying the show. I like hearing everybody's kind of, gratefulness speeches. It's been a good year, I think, for productivity for everybody. I love seeing everybody, the shows, the modules, the albums. It's super. A lot of live streaming. So yeah, it's been a great. I feel very privileged to kind of just be in the little circle, and it definitely makes life a little bit more exciting. That's for sure. Yeah.
Indeed.
See, I got this. I'm all ready, just in case we do it.
Oh, we're gonna do it. Don't worry about that. You stick around. Yeah.
Property in the box. Where
if Manny shows up, he can take his out of the box.
Yeah, we can do mine.
Yeah.
Mine did come out. I did try, and then kind of I don't know. It's not. It's tricky a little bit. I'm not sure what it is about it. I don't know.
File?
I think you mentioned it, Andy. I think one type of light for all those buttons.
I agree.
It's a little hard. It's a little hard to kind
Should be
of
multicolor.
yeah, just to organize your brain around, when you're looking at it. But yeah. Anyways, that's all I got. We're here.
That's awesome. I'm going to put you there in the corner, because we can do that. Yay! All right. And you can just look at your
nobody
video.
Puts Clio in the corner.
No.
Exactly.
I think you said it before me, Andy.
I'm just going to let you know, guys, too. I'm done with best of for the year. I'm done with it now. I'm finished. It's kind of a bit annoying doing these, but yeah, that was fun. Like, don't forget, last week we awarded the UDO Super Gemini, which by what do you call it? Responses that I've got from, I haven't got a response from UDO, but from responses that I've got from other people in the synth community, that was a really good choice by us, because it seems to be reverberating through the community that's maybe one of the best synths of the year. And a lot of people that have got that synth, they've kind of felt that was although it's not multi-timbral and there's all this other sort of stuff that it's not, they feel like it's just very deep and really well made, and yeah, it's on the pricey side, but I think a lot of people thought it was more expensive when they first got saw the price. They were actually surprised it wasn't more expensive, if that makes sense. So that's a good accolade from people, and those who have been able to afford it, good on them. Maybe one day I might get one. One thing I will say is, and I don't mean to in any way detract from the UDO Super Gemini, but any type of hybrid sort of where you've got a digital oscillator system that's done through FPGAs or DSPs or something, and then they're going through an analog filter. I really like that sort of setup, that layout, because the Novation Peak is an amazing synth in that regard as well. And I'd love to get my hands on, obviously, the Waldorf Quantum, for the same reasons. And I think that the Super Gemini fits nicely into that same category as well. And they'll all have their little sweet spots, for different reasons. So I don't think you can go wrong with that. There's just something about, I don't know, you guys can back me up here, I guess, there's something about a digitally generated oscillator that has a bit more flexibility, than your typical analog synth, right?
Well, that's why Dave Smith used them, analog filters and digital oscillators. So
Yeah.
I think when they get them right, they're awesome.
Yeah.
Like I was playing with the MiniFreak this week for reasons that we'll get to, but that's definitely one of those ones where I go, oh, there it is. I love that. It's a nice combination of an analog filter on top of digital synthesis.
Exactly.
I'm digging it.
I mean, ESQ1 started a long time ago. That's a great synth.
So this was the award we gave them. Haven't heard from them, so if you are watching UDO, I know you're based in the UK, aren't you? Let us, shout us out. The other one that got an award last week was the Intelligel Sea-Legs, which this was the award we gave them. And Intelligel did reach out to us in a comment on the video itself, which I thought was lovely. It was quite warming that they were actually even watching. I hope we didn't make too much of a fool of ourselves.
Well, they're Canadians. They're polite, so
yeah. Oh, I have in a similar degree. I have a massive amount of respect for those guys.
I love it. I have all their cases. Yeah,
their engineering smarts there are incredible. Similar to UDO, I just find, in fact, it's kind of, I find them kind of similar in a way, in a complementary way. They're both quite innovative companies in that sense, and they kind of have that coolness factor. Do you know what I mean? Like when you look at those interface designs, there's a coolness factor to it, isn't there? There's like an awesome factor about their designs.
There's kind of a credibility, like a street cred kind of vibe in both of those outlets.
Yeah, you don't have to be a teenage engineering trying to copy.
No,
Apple.
but
Do you know what I mean?
You're not going to. Well, you don't have to be a PRICK like a certain company starting with B would be.
Yeah.
No, he has to be. Yeah.
You can get cred without demanding it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So well done to those guys, and well done to the meme that got it this week. We'll do a little similar sort of graphic for that. I don't even know who produced that meme. If it's you, if you're the person that produced that meme, shout out, and I don't know, maybe I can organise a prize for you somehow, because that'd be cool. Right, we should get stuck into the show. Regular segments time. People are just hanging for these. Here we go. You'd think we've had enough funny side for the week.
Never enough.
We have to have a Christmas version. We have to.
And the elf on a shelf too. Look at that.
Yeah,
it's a Roland.
Darren, you'll probably remember all these, mate, because we've shown these every year, I think, just about. They're all Christmas themed.
Nice tartan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a Roland, because there's a roll in the corner, isn't there?
Roland.
Get your coat.
Rolling down.
Yeah, sorry, I'll leave. Another hope it's a synth.
Yeah.
I've seen offices done that way. All the desk and all the accessories.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've seen that too.
And what else we got? This one is the Christmas tree with the patch cables on it.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a pretty scabby tree, though, isn't it?
Yes.
And not nearly
It's like
enough
the
patch
Charlie Brown
cables.
tree. Yeah.
No,
Where's
no,
Kent?
yeah, it needs to be.
Someone spent 5
We
minutes
need
on that.
we need more patch cables. Where's Kent?
Break the tree.
Ken can start like a little patch cable donation.
Oh, he's finally got a use for them.
She gets all of these flowers, and then her first thought is, "Oh my god, he's got another synth."
Yep.
This one's great to see Mary on keyboard and Joseph on vocals. I'm kind of, to be honest, I'm kind of getting sick of showing these every year. So please do some more Christmassy memes, because otherwise we're gonna have to keep showing.
I've never
them
seen that
every
one.
year.
That's fun.
Then we've got a wreath of Franklin's.
Oh, yeah.
Very
Boom,
good.
boom,
Boom, boom.
don't shoot the messenger. I didn't make these. Yeah. Told Santa she wants a Timberwolf for Christmas. This one's for you, Wigoo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, I haven't recycled that one because I couldn't find it last year, and I found it this year, and I'm like, yes, I'm happy. And then we've got this one that is new.
Oh,
Someone's gone into Pro
Very
Tools
nice.
I like
and
that.
decided to do a Christmas tree.
That's great.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's cool. That is cool.
Yeah. I did one on Ableton Push one year, and then I did one on the Akai Force the next year, and it doesn't look very good, but kind of similar to that.
I like the famous one of the snare hits that looks like Christmas trees.
I think there's one more.
You seen that one?
People see Christmas trees.
There you go,
I
yeah.
see systems.
Yeah.
Quick
That's the
samples. Yeah.
one. They certainly
Yeah,
do.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I've had that wrapping paper too. And I'm like slapping myself because I didn't see kick samples on. I saw Christmas trees. And I'm like, oh, I should have kept it. Anyway, we don't need to do a favourite, but you can, I mean, it's not going to be official. We're not going to plug it into next year or anything, but you can let us know if you've got a favourite Christmas meme. If you want.
I like the Pro Tools Christmas tree. For me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll second that one.
Yeah. That's. I mean, it's new this year, that one, so it's the only new one.
Yeah.
Should always.
I'm going to go with the Timberwolf. I laugh at that joke every single time I say it because it's just like you can just imagine the two sisters hating each other, right?
It says so much, doesn't it?
It does. And my Timberwolf is just
Right
I
there.
can't see it. It's behind the camera. Oh, bumping everything. Yeah, I'll go and grab it in a minute just because you guys don't believe I've still got it. I do. Right.
Yeah, put the Moog sticker on it. Yeah.
With the Moog sticker on. I have to find my Moog sticker somewhere. They did send me one once.
I have one
Right.
somewhere,
Yeah. Let's do some news. Now, there's a lot, so I don't know how we're going to get through all this, but we'll work out a way, okay? Don't panic. Now, I have made a small change. Before we get into this stuff, I'll just go back to here. I've made a small change to the Mac that I use to show the videos on. I'm using OBS Studio again, not with the show for the show, but just for on the Mac. And I'm hoping this fixes, because you guys would have noticed over the last few weeks we had some jerky video issues. So I'm hoping that fixes it. So let's go back to here. What happened to my little graphic? Did it disappear?
So your setup is even more complicated now.
Well, I think what we might do is I think we'll go across to this view here. Now, I can only fit three of us. I think we're going to show our faces while we show a video because I think it's kind of nice. Sorry for the other guys. I can only fit three of us on. Here we go. Let's have a look at Recodrum by Arthur Joy, I think it is. This guy. We've shown this before, but this is a new updated version, and I'm not going to play 13 minutes of this video. Let's have a quick look at this. It's got a spring reverb in it, as you can tell.
Nice view meter. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Tube and Spring. It's a good name for an album.
It's cool.
It's fantastically retro.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
retro.
Oh, look at the tube, people. Look at that tube. The fallopian tube. Oh, I like that. We're getting some harmonics happening.
Yeah. Resonance.
Yeah. Those little toms are cutting through the mix. I'd really like to see. I'd really like to see someone do something a little bit more kind of, I don't know, interesting with an analog drum machine, and that I kind of feel is a step in the right direction. What can I tell you about it? It is a 1,000 pound jobber. I think that's how much it was last time anyway. RecoSynth.com if you want to check that out. Thoughts? Appreciation.
My
A lot of
price
handmade
bracket.
stuff. It's
Yeah,
nice,
I mean, it looks expensive, doesn't it? Let's face it.
yeah.
You know.
Very boutique.
Yeah.
That's what I want for Christmas.
Like that guy in South America. Is that guy in Brazil that makes stuff like that?
I'm pretty sure he's
What's that guy's
from
name?
Brazil. Arthur Joy, his name is. I'm pretty
That's
sure
the
it
same guy
is.
then. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's the same dude. Yeah, because
Yeah, we
It
showed
looks like it. Yeah.
we showed this about a year ago, but this is an updated
Okay.
version. I don't know
Yeah,
if it
makes
had
good
the
stuff.
tube in it or the spring reverb. One or the other was. I'm pretty sure was missing from this, or maybe both, because that's kind of the new thing. Yeah. Anyway, as with always, we're going to have links in the blog article that's on my website, usually within a day or so, to all the stuff, videos, everything.
I thought the spring was a bit too long, if I'm honest.
Usually goes for about 3 months. Spring, just saying.
Yeah. Oh.
You're killing me,
walked
man.
into-
You're killing me.
Spring did sound good.
Welcome to
Yeah,
Christmas.
you take it. You take a drink, buddy. You're gonna need it. No. Well, that's gonna cost you. No, I thought that's kind of lengths of spring you'd expect on like an ARP 2600 original or a synth in general, and they suit those kind of instruments. But I find in drums, I think you do need a bit more of a manageable length on your spring for your drums. Just
Reckon he needs to tighten the spring a bit, maybe.
Oh, yeah, just
Yeah.
tighten the spring. I reckon he needs to cut it in half.
Cut it in half.
And it's
I'd like to be able to have the spring to play with, right? Because that's one of the cool things about. I mean,
Scrape
about
it.
the dope for one. You can play with it. It's in a little box, and
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah, that's the Coma Field Kit. Has that
Darren,
too.
you
It's
can
open,
finger
you
the spring as
strum it.
much as you want. You know,
Exactly. And we all need to finger a spring.
you can run your fingernails
For now,
down it.
Or anything else you desire.
Stop
Oh,
right there.
we'll get that purple fur caught in there. That would be very bad. So
This is
Oh,
turning
God,
into
yeah.
Kent's pub, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Right, so let's go to the next, because the next one I think you guys are going to be familiar with, and that is the Arturia V Collection. So let's have a look at that. There's only 30 seconds to watch here, so...
you can change me. I don't have to be here every time. That's cool.
So these are all the new things that they're adding in. And updated things. I kind of feel like it's not quite what they're saying it is there. I mean, if you've got Arturia V Collection 9 or whatever it is at the moment, is it 8, 9, whatever the one is now.
Very close.
9. Yeah.
You're not missing out on a huge amount. Okay, so who wants to run with this? Like, what are we getting that's new in this?
Well, every time they add 2 or 3 things, right? That's how it always works.
There's always 2 or 3 things, isn't there? There's a
Yeah.
CP70.
CP70.
the piano, yep.
Yeah.
The
The mini
TBV
the mini
or
freak.
whatever.
The TB Throw 3,
They
yep.
added the 303, yeah.
Yeah.
And then was that physical
mini-
modeling
the MiniFreak.
thing as well. The augmented brass.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
There's a new piano model, maybe.
Yeah, that's the CP.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I think it's another
Another one?
change to a standard.
And then they've
I
updated.
think the sampled piano, one of the sampled pianos has changed.
I should have looked, but
Well, the whirly's updated.
I mean,
Then they needed to update the whirly, I
yeah,
thought.
that was it.
Yeah, I kind of
But
never
if you're into
really
the suite mode
like the
thing
whirly.
already, it's smart to wait because you save a lot of money. So
Well, yeah. I mean, the upgrade price isn't too bad. If you've never bought this before, you're looking at $5.99 US. And keep that price in the back of your mind, because it's going to pop out in a sec, and you'll think to yourself, $5.99 for this versus $5.99 for the next thing that's about to pop out, and you'll think, this
So,
make a
so my
comparison.
trick for this and also for Native Instruments was I bought an old version from a sale at like Perfect Circuit,
Yep.
and then I had the easy upgrade path.
If you're lucky,
Saved
you can
a
do that.
boatload of money.
I know
Yeah.
these software
Just gotta
companies
look
have
for
been, Andy, they've been big on trying to stop that from happening, because they
Well,
want
it's-
these
yeah.
updates to be, they want it sort of heavy lifting happening, So they're
Sure.
trying to get the retailers to
Good
clear out
luck.
their stock.
Yeah, exactly.
But because
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
buying
no.
the media, like the hard disk or whatever, then I don't have to worry about downloading everything. Then they can't take it away because as you're buying the media, right? It has the stuff on it. So
Yeah, unfortunately, it's always out
I
of
mean,
date.
my upgrade for this was 199 quid. So, which is for what I'll be getting seems a little pricey for me. There again, I'm not the guy who uses lots and lots of soft synths, so you know.
But if you do the math, the 303 alone is $50 on sale, right? So
yeah, I know.
I use the V
I've
Collection.
got a 303. I mean, the only one I was really, I mean, I was interested in the CP70, and I was interested in having the MiniFreak, the soft synth, but I wouldn't use them all the time. So, you know,
does the MiniFreak have the actual hardware? MiniFreak has analog filters, doesn't it? Or am I wrong?
Yes, the actual
does.
MiniFreak has
Yeah.
analog filters.
So when you do get this on your VST version, that's one of the major things that you're going to miss out on.
yeah.
It's modeled.
Yeah.
So
keep that, also park that into your back of your mind too when we said the next thing, because that's important too. I kind of feel like these software companies, they have to keep rolling out a new version, because this is how that company survives. It's how they make money to pay their staff and things like that. It's a machine. It's a subscription model, right? A bit like Roland Cloud, but different. I kind of feel like you're either going to be down with the VSTs, you're going to be down the path where you're going to be buying an upgrade every so often. And when you think about it, how much are those upgrades? What did you say it was, Ian? The upgrade, 100 and...
The upgrade for me, it's personalised, but for me, it's 100. Actually, it's not pounds. It's 199 euros. So it's what, 170 pounds, something like that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I don't know why that did that.
No,
Sorry.
but unlike normal
199
subscriptions,
euros.
you could not use this for 5 years and it still works.
Oh yeah, that's the. I mean, the other things I've got is
so they're not like a perpetual, like the Roland Cloud's a perpetual
Right.
subscription, right? Where
It doesn't break when you haven't paid more money.
No.
So.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, it is a subscription model, but actually, it's better than, you know,
The better
like the
kind,
Roland Cloud thing, really.
That-
yeah.
That's the way you would like it, so that you know you can stop at some point, but still keep your.
It is
stuff
interesting.
working.
The other special offers that they've offered me is that I can have the Mini version 4 for 49 euros, or the Whirly version 3 for 49. I don't want them, but I would have been interested in, you know.
Yeah, see, so you were on V
I
Collection
mean, I've got
9.
other things that I've got.
Were you on 9?
I'm older than that.
Yeah, I'm on 9. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm on 8, and mine is 299 euros
Yeah.
/ dollars.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Like Roland Cloud meets you part way with those lifetime keys. You get a few things that don't
Yes.
die,
But you
then all the
can,
rest of them die.
but Andy, you can upgrade the individual things if you want.
You can upgrade them, but you can't get the new one.
Right.
Yeah, you can't. That's the thing, isn't it?
Relevant in a moment.
So there's the upgrades.
And that's they're missing a trick there, because
what's
I
funny,
think
too?
people
I
would
bought
want to
my-
upgrade, you know.
I bought my Arturia through the Native Instruments site. They had some kind of a deal where you could buy one through the other company, which is really weird.
You
You see,
notice
I
how
don't- I mean, I
you
un-
notice how they brought this out
it's
just
inappropriate.
after Cyber Monday. So
It's a bit.
I don't remember paying an awful lot for version 9 though.
I
$2.99
find
sounds-
$2.99 a lot of money, and that's
It is a
and
lot
once
of
I
money.
convert that into Aussie dollars, that's like I know I haven't got the I haven't got the sample ready, but tell them you're dreaming is literally the thought
Yeah.
that's into my head right now.
It was Kent's fault that I bought version 9. It was all down to him, because he convinced me to buy it, and I'm pleased that I did buy it. But I don't remember. I didn't pay anywhere near 500 euros.
Well, the
I
CS80
might
is
for
very
it.
good on it.
I might see what else comes
Yeah.
up. If that's $2.99, there's an absolute no from me, a massive no, because that's a hardware synth for me.
Yeah.
Or if I can get it cheaper, then I'll wait. I think I'm on version 8 now, so you know, I didn't really need version 9. I didn't think it was enough.
No.
I don't really think there's
The-
enough in 10 either. To be fair,
No,
There's
the
not really
CS80 was
anything
a major
singing at me.
upgrade on 8 to 9 one, I think, wasn't it?
there wasn't. I don't know. I didn't think so.
Yeah.
you guys probably disagree, but I thought
No.
what was the big one that came in 8? That was the emulator. I'm pretty sure was the emulator that came in 8.
Yeah.
And it might have even been the Fairlight might have been in that one as well. So there was kind of like a couple of really big developed synths in
It's
that.
kind of like the UVI synth collections that keep coming out. I mean,
Yeah.
after a while, I can have most of them, but I want a few more. But do I want to pay that extra money when I don't really maybe need those?
Yeah.
So
We have to see. Koshtu guys made a good point in chat. I might just highlight it for you guys. We have to remember that when we talk about the Cyber Monday and the Black Friday stuff, we have to remember to remind people that this is exactly what these software companies do. They will push out the current version and announce a new version within a week or two after Cyber Monday.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
It's kind of clear.
Yeah.
It's kind of the clearance sale, the new clearance sale. Cyber week is becoming a bit like it.
Buyer beware. That's it.
Old stock must go.
Anyway, anyone in chat got the new V Collection 10? Anyone here got it? I mean, Ian, you've got it, right? No, you haven't got it.
No, I'm not buying it.
If anyone's got it, just let us know in chat of their thoughts, whether they think it's good or not as good, or usually there's a bit of
Costa Kai's got it.
Okay. Cool. All right, awesome. All right, let's go to the next one. Now, the next one is not that, but this, the MiniFreak. I said, remember that price, $5.99, and also remember the analog filters, because $5.99 is how much a brand new MiniFreak will cost you if you haven't got one, and you may want one. You actually may want one after you watch this. This is a firmware update that's just come out. Let's go full screen on this sucker. Now, I think this is probably one of the best synths, not the best, but one of the best synths that Arturia have ever made. And I haven't got one, and I'm jealous that I haven't got one. I will get one eventually, don't worry.
I would like one.
There's a couple of reasons for it. Number one is they keep bringing out some firmware, and each time they bring out firmware, they knock it through the park. Number two, I mentioned before, it's got the analog filters. I love that. You can't go wrong with that. You'll always hit a sweet spot with me with those. And number three is that you've got the companion app that comes with this. That companion app is pretty much an Arturia MiniFreak on its own, and you get that included in the deal, I guess. Buying hardware,
I actually bought that.
Yeah,
it was on sale.
There's a few things that annoy a few people about it. I've read the forums, and I'm kind of looking at those things, thinking, it's Arturia do that.
It can be thin
stuff
at times.
Yeah,
it's not a bass synth really.
But it's hell intuitive. The way that they've designed the user interface, it's really clever. I like it. It's very, very smart.
Every time I go back to my MiniFreak, it's like I've never left. It's just completely, immediately all there. And I'm going, I haven't programmed, so I wonder if I remember. Nope, absolutely. Do this. Probably the modulation matrix is the most complex part. And I came back to it again this time, and it was like, that's right. Didn't take long. So, no, I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of that's probably out of tune. I can't hear it. But had a bit of fun making patches with the new wavetable synthesis.
You got yours on a deal too, didn't you? Around the mid-year sales, wasn't it? I remember.
Did I?
Pretty sure.
That sounds familiar.
So
I try to remember if it was one of the ones I pre-ordered and waited
you pre-ordered it.
for.
Yep, you did, and you had to wait.
Yeah, it was a good price. It wasn't It was pre-order, but it was a really good intro price.
Yeah, because the price it is at the moment is nearly $1,000 Australian. It's
yeah,
$599 US, but it's nearly $1,000. It's $939 Australian, which I think is, when you're talking about Australian dollars, that's a lot of money for the synth that it is. But you know, it will come down. I reckon it will come down in price.
It will.
And that's probably when I'll grab it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, by comparison, I've not had the MicroFreak for very long. Probably 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, something like that. Absolutely love it, and I should have bought it years ago when it first came out. You know, but I've got a great little synth, and obviously it's a chip off the old block. You know, really. So you're right; those two synths together are where Arturia really knocked it out of the park. I think
They did, yeah. I think the Mini Brute 2 Sequencer desktop edition was an amazing bit of design. The one without the keyboard.
Yeah, I was lusting after that when it came out. Absolutely.
And obviously the Matrix Brute and the Poly Brute also fits. So that's a lot of synths, and it's pretty much nearly all their synths.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
So they've done a good job each time. And I know Arturia don't love me. We had when the KeyStep Pro came out, they were going to give me one, but they wanted me to pay for it, and I said, no, stick it up your bum. I'm not paying for it. If you want me to review something, you can send it to me. And they didn't want to do that, so I think I kind of upset them. You know what the French are like. Anyway, I don't mind. I've got to
just don't play their videos because they get mad, right? So you get a strike.
But I don't bag them out at all ever, because I think they make good stuff. You know, just because some people have got arrogance about with their attitudes doesn't necessarily mean that they deserve a slap. And I'm not gonna like it. I'm gonna get butthurt by it, because I'm not that sort of person. I look past that sort of silliness, and I'll just go, no, you guys are making good stuff. You're making good software, and you're making good hardware, and you're making good other things too, controllers and audio interfaces and some of the other bits and pieces. I got a lot of their stuff here. I'm sure you guys too. You know, key steps. I've got two key steps, a Beatstep Pro. I've got the first MicroFreak, the first Mini Brute. The only thing I'll say about
the big
Arturia
controller
is sticky knobs. Yes, sticky knobs. In fact, you can actually see hair on that, like a dog hair.
Not just knobs, the case.
Yum.
The actual case of the original Mini Brute got really sticky.
That's on my Beatstep. The sticky knobs is on my Beatstep Pro. Yeah. It's on my Mini Brute, it's on my Micro Brute, and it's on the Beatstep Pro. And I think
is it gonna go? Is my MicroFreak gonna go like that way?
Yeah, it's on this as well. It's on the original key step now. So
I don't know. My original key step is completely fine. No
my black one's
to it whatsoever.
My black one's fine. Where's my black one gone? I don't even know where the black one is. Yeah.
Mine's fine.
Mine's
fine.
Just very, very slightly sticky now. But don't forget, you don't live in like 48-degree Australia here.
Yeah, you don't have.
Yeah, but I do have the 2
gigajoules of UV.
That's gone sticky.
Yeah, exactly. We don't have an ozone layer above us here. That's why we look so weird.
We got rid of it.
Didn't it slowly come back?
Yeah, you didn't need
still
it.
A hole?
It fell off because we're down
still a
under.
hole.
It fell
It
away.
hasn't gone.
It's still a hole, really? Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
they forgot about it for about. I remember in the 80s they were telling everyone about it, and then they forgot about it.
Yeah.
And about 2 years ago they checked to see if it was still like a massive hole, and it's still there, a massive hole.
Oh,
And
man.
that's
awful.
why
Just
I've
didn't
got
get
skin
better.
cancer. Thank you very much. I've had 3 cut out of me.
Bugger.
Wow.
3 bits of skin cancer cut out of me. Don't worry about it. It's not
Well,
like
Steve Smith, he's got.
it's not like a terminal
melanoma
thing. You
stuff.
don't die from it. If you get it cut out, and then you monitor it, it's fine.
Just
and
you
you'll
can,
see
though,
lots
because
of-
it can
about
sneak
getting
up on
people
you
to check it.
and metastasizes.
when you come to Australia, you'll see lots of older Aussies with literally with scabs on their heads and that, and you think that what's wrong with this person? Got some sort of weird eczema.
I mean,
It's
I'm
probably
dead down
skin
there.
cancer.
I'm so fair. I'm toast.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, same. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got my Lancashire skin.
got
Yeah.
I blame the Welsh
We'll
blood.
stay there.
Anyway,
See, he's deadly over there. Not with
who wants-
just little animals and insects.
Who wants to buy a
Sunny.
MiniFreak? Let's get back to the subject. Who wants to buy a MiniFreak now that this firmware is out? That super saw sounds pretty cool.
If I hadn't, I would be. If I didn't have one, I would definitely have. This would have tipped me out.
I'd get one on sale for sure.
I'd get one on sale.
Yeah,
I'd wait for a sale.
I've been looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to stop spending money.
You know what we need to stop doing? I swear, we need to stop giving Teenage Engineering love, because we're about to give them more love, because they've just released a firmware now for the OP1 Field 1.5, and it is friggin' awesome. Oh, look at this.
Of course.
It is actually.
We don't have this
They
problem in
always
Australia, by the way.
update their stuff.
It's brilliant.
Bizarre video doesn't tell us anything about their
No,
firmware
but
update.
it's really fun.
It's great, isn't it? I like it.
You heard it though. It was on. They heard the effect.
You did hear the effect. So let's
They
go
also
through.
added a stacking effect to the recording.
Yeah.
A merge thing.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the link to come up. Terminal is the name of the effect. That's right. I was trying to remember it. And the tape now has a merge drop feature.
Drop.
That's the and the bug fixes. I wanted to find out what the bug fixes were. Now you might think to yourself, how often does Teenage Engineering update the firmware on an OP1? And I thought to
Used to
myself,
be every year.
geez, I didn't think it was that much.
Yeah.
Well, they've actually done it 4 times this year. They've updated the firmware on the OP1.
Yeah.
But this is the field only. The original OP1 that I've had for like 12 years now. I've had at least 7 updates on that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, me too.
So,
But isn't the difference
and they're all
between
free.
the field and the OP1 is just the screen, isn't it? Isn't it just the screen?
No, it's stereo.
I think it's
Stereo
different enough.
thing is.
It is different enough.
Yeah, it's different
Yeah.
enough. I think
I
so.
don't know enough about it. Okay.
The stereo and stereo. I mean, the effects are still stereo on both, but the actual you can record in stereo on the field. I think.
They still have an FM radio in the field. Is that still there?
I don't know. I bought the aerial for that, and I don't think I've ever used it.
Oh, it's
I've never
great
used
because
it.
it's a modulation effect too,
Yeah.
not just audio.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
really cool.
That's
I've
incredible.
actually still got my antenna.
I take mine away with me if I go away. Although, just
Mine
while
needs
we're talking
repairing,
teenage
otherwise I'd use it
engineering,
more often.
I
So
got one of these, but this may go back.
Hang on, wait.
Oh.
What button is it? It's that button. Oh, you got the OPZ.
It's got a deck saver on it. OPZ.
Why is
but
it going back?
It's struggling with the double trigger problems.
Really?
I mean, the keyboard at the moment is completely unplayable because it's double triggers all over the place.
Okay.
I spoke to the guy.
I've rarely had that. It does happen, but I've rarely had it. So
Yeah.
Okay. What is that? Like is that a software thing?
see.
Or is that literally a
no,
mechanical
forgot.
issue?
It's a mechanical thing.
probably
I saw a video. I watched a video of a guy using isopropyl alcohol to clean it, and
okay.
if I
Because
keep
there is a
mean-
known thing, and Chris will back me up here, where buttons can have this thing called a square wave bounce. Yeah, and that's actually not necessarily a mechanical thing. That's actually an electrical.
It is
Mechanical
aggravated by mechanical things.
Yeah.
So if you've got software that's just on the edge of working, and you've got
You
a
can
button
fix
that's
it in
slightly
software.
out of tolerance,
And you can fix it in hardware. And
Kind
sometimes
of.
you
you kind of configure the
latest firmware,
tolerance
Ian?
in the software.
I haven't checked actually. It turned up yesterday, so I need to. I'll have a look at the
Okay,
firmware.
yeah.
I think.
maybe just
Yeah, you probably
update the
have to load these.
firmware and just see if it fixes it.
Mm,
You never know.
see
Mine
if
runs
it
great,
fixes it.
so-
Yeah.
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 I mean,
yeah.
I've played with it yesterday. I love it. I think it's great, and I sort
That's
of
why I
want to
got
keep
two.
it, but not the price.
Now,
Not
is
the
it
price I'm paying for it.
in
Oh,
chat-
no,
is it-
I'm buying it cheaper, but
is it Louis or is it Lewis? I don't want to say his name wrong, but I remember him talking about how he bent his OPZ, and we're wondering if he left it in his back pocket, and he said he sold it before it bended more.
Yeah,
So
this has got a slight bend.
Now
in
that's
it, just ever so slight.
that's
the
circuit
plastic they
bending,
use,
people.
Hang on, Chris.
the plastic they use
Ian?
has a slight curve to it sometimes.
Ian, hold that back
Yeah.
up again.
Sorry, yeah.
Show us your slight
It's
bend.
got you won't be able to see it on camera, but it has got a slight bend.
Hold up a
in
bit
it.
higher, mate. A bit higher.
Bit higher.
Because the camera's already fisheye.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can't really tell.
Does that
You
work?
can't really tell. Yeah. I was
I need
hoping
to hold
you
it up
could.
against a ruler.
Do what
a-
Darren.
Yeah,
Darren
yeah.
has a
Complain about
Beat
the
Step.
finish
Roller
of the
underneath
plastic.
Darren has a Beat Step Pro that rocks, and literally
Yeah.
sits on a flat desk and goes.
Wow.
So what do you say, Andy?
I was
did
going to say
Andy?
the finish when it first came out, the people getting different ones shipped to them, and it looks almost like a 3D printed plastic. You have a different
Right.
like patina
Well-
on the finish of the plastic, and some people hated that, but there's just the nature of the plastic they use.
I don't know if you can tell.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. It's
This
hard
guy
to say
had
that,
a-
but it is
Nah,
bent
you
from
can't
the
tell.
side to
Yeah.
the side.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
You need the
Yeah.
old.
But-
You need the ruler to see
Yeah,
it.
if you put it on the desk, it will rock like that.
Yeah.
You should have taken it back, mate. Seriously, you should have taken it
Yeah.
back.
I mean,
Well,
the OPZ's had some sort of a sort of he's put a skin on it at one point, and he's taken it off because it looked like I thought he'd actually spilt something
right.
around it, but he says he hasn't. But anyway, we'll
Fair
see.
enough.
Yeah,
I'm going to
Anyway.
spend some more time with it over the weekend.
OP1 Field firmware update.
Yeah.
Go check it out. That terminal effects looks really, really cool fun, and I love the way they program
tell you-
their effects.
If my original OP1 died, I wouldn't be able. I'd have to buy one. I think I'd have to buy another. I'd have to buy a Field.
Yeah. This is
Probably
why I
try and
hate
get one
doing this show,
second-hand.
because I sold mine actually literally to fuel the software that's in the show, and I do miss it. I do miss it.
Yeah.
I mean, you miss everything that you used
Bonkers.
to have, I guess. It is a
I
bonkers
don't
product.
miss. I
I mean,
tell you what,
come
I don't
on,
miss.
the Gorilla beatbox thing is amazing.
I do not miss the Zoom Arc. I
yeah.
hated that.
Yeah, I think
I
Mine's been
the
in a
Zoom
bag
Arc
all the time.
96.
I think the
Yeah,
Zoom
and I
company
just
don't
have
miss
so
the
bad
marketing
with it.
person that was employed there either
no,
at the time.
that was awful.
I heard
piece of
stories.
I got the one that had more buttons, the 48. It was a little bit fancier,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's
tied,
terrible
wasn't
as
it?
well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
it was just.
I think we're going to have to do next year.
I-
We're going to have to do a bad, not like a Florian
Oh,
bad gear,
you-
but we're going to have to do a
Proper.
bad
Actual
gear,
bad gear.
proper bad gear
Proper,
episode.
yeah.
Yeah, it's overdue. It's
Start
been a
of the
couple
year or
years.
something.
Yeah.
Synth,
Right.
Synth start of the year.
We need to move on. We've done that. We've done. Now we need to do Nibbler. Yes, Nibbler. What is Nibbler by Schlappi Engineering? I love these little Euro module companies. They float my boat. What can I say?
Is this the guy who made the angle grinder?
This is a.
Is the same guy?
You're going to like this, actually, Chris. You really are going to like this. This is basically a. It's like a hexadecimal counter, right? It counts from 0 to 15, and then it overcounts, and it does all these kind of gates, and and you can reset it and sync it, and there's ins and outs and cool stuff. So this has got nothing to do with actually making sound, but this is something that will drive your sound. And I love that massive big reset button. In the middle.
The reset
It
button
is so cool.
is classic.
It's just one of those cool things. Right, let's watch the vid, because I'm not going to watch 14 minutes of it, but he does talk about it at the start.
Hey, he's got Rave Dave cables.
Schlappi.
Nibbler
pulling
is a
them out, though,
module
that's
about
probably-
exploring the musicality of counting in binary. It is a CMOS-based 4-bit accumulator, which means it counts from 0 to 15 and then overflows above that. It has separate gate outputs for each of the bits, as well as 2-stepped analog voltages made from adding those bits together. It also has inputs for each of the bits, as well as shifting, resetting, and changing the direction of the counter. It runs up to audio rates where it is useful for subharmonic and noise generation, and down to LFO rate, where it can be used for arpeggio-like sequences and rhythm generation. First, we plug a signal into the clock.
Not going to go into the rest of the video, but I think you guys get the gist of it. Yeah, bit of fun. Bit of fun. Nibbler, it's, was it about 200 and something bucks? 240 bucks. And there's, I couldn't see a Mod Wiggler page for it. I could be wrong, but was I wrong? Was I wrong?
You are wrong. There is a Mod Wiggler page.
I was wrong. There is a Mod Wiggler page. I was thinking about something
else. So it's mostly modulation?
Let's get the Mod Wiggler page up.
Well, you can use it at modulated rates or audio rates.
Yeah.
So one or two.
Is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. So this is the Mod Wiggler page. Yeah. I kind of feel like it's not something that I would buy, but if you really want to sort of send off crazy sort of gate chaining inputs and outputs, and having them sort of mathematically calculate and subtract and add and sync and all that sort of stuff, this is kind of what you'd need. You'd need something like this, because I don't really see another module that you could do this without, unless you're sort of like you're using voltage subtraction or addition. Like it's not really possible, I don't think. That's why you need some sort of CMOS processor to do it, which is interesting in its own right.
And going to audio rate is the other reason why you need CMOS.
Yeah,
that's the thing, is that CMOS can be very high speed.
Yeah.
Whereas other techniques, simulation or DSPs,
for
problems.
wacky modulation, I use that Let's Splosh thing. That's pretty cool. It's a really weird module.
Yeah. And yeah, while we're at it, there's another module that I want. It's actually a couple more, by the way. There's another module that I want to show you, and that is this Gliss. Now, I don't think we've shown this before. I had a bit of a search back through the archives. You can tell me off if I've shown it before. However, I do want to show it again because they've updated it. It is a year old, so it's kind of like, it's not a second suck of the sav type thing, but it is something that we should probably talk about. Now, there is
like
a little
an
video.
Omnichord strum plate.
Yes,
I think you guys will like this, because I don't think you'll expect it to be what you've just thought it's going to be. Here we go.
Using Gliss, a touch controller for modular synths, brought to you by Bella.io. Gliss is a high-precision touch controller for Eurorack. Gliss senses the position and pressure of your fingertip for precise control and provides a responsive and elegant visualization with an LED backlight. Gliss has two scalable CV outputs. Control them both with a single gesture, or split the slider in two to control the outputs individually.
That's cool.
Draw in any gesture. Record up to 1 minute. Update on the fly. Loop it to create LFOs with custom waveforms. Or trigger it as an envelope. Use the button or signals from other modules or hardware.
You guys get the idea, right? That was a minute and a half of their vid. It is pretty cool, isn't
now
it?
this is where I'd say, I might get back into modular.
I tell you what,
My LS1 light strip does
like
most of that. It doesn't do multi-touch, but it does everything else that does.
Was that what you thought it was going to be when I first showed the picture?
Nope.
Yeah.
No.
It's surprising, isn't it?
I can see a set
That's
of
an
these.
upgrade.
Imagine that. Well, yeah.
That's an upgrade.
if it
And
could do
that's- I wonder if
MPA,
it's
buying modular.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
a classic case of the person must have been going, I want a touch plate that does strumming, and then they did that, and then they went, hey, I know how to program now. I could do more.
Yeah.
It's very much that. Looks like a growth product.
Okay, so it's what I like about it. It's kind of a different take on something that we already know how to do.
Yeah.
But it's that performance level. So when you're looking at this, you're probably thinking to yourself, do I need one? It depends on kind of how you like to perform, because you can achieve the same thing.
I'm
with
thinking
one
of about 10 of them.
You can actually achieve the same thing with one of these.
I have the light strip, but I would still get one of these because it's different enough.
The planner is
very cool.
is a joystick, right, which has recordable, X, Y, or even A, B, C, D movements, right? And you can play back the record. That's one of the cool things about it. Plus, it's got the 4 inputs and 4 outputs, and it's also got the combining of X and Y, and it's also got some other.
It's a vector,
yeah. So you can do stuff like that with these sort of products. Now, imagine if you had a couple. You had the Gliss, and you had the Planner 2, and you had the ears from Mutable Instruments, which is the contact mic. I kind of feel like this is where modular kind of really is fun. It's really fun. Sending out control voltages where it's tactile for you. And don't be surprised if you don't see this sort of stuff in a synth in the near future. I know we've got ribbon controllers. I know we've got MIDI. I know, but I don't think we have everything kind of like this yet, where it's it's kind of not everything. It comes close, but it's not everything. So the Gliss is by Bela.io, and it's $149 US. So go check it out, definitely.
Damn, it's on my bloody list now.
$149, I think, is pretty sensible as a price.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, there are some more. There is another module coming up later on, so we haven't quite finished with Eurorack. But as a kind of weird thing for news, I thought we'd go off on a little tangent and we'll talk about a couple of. They are synth-related news items, but I think they're just interesting. So number one is this one where this guy has. He's been around before. I can show you. Actually, it's probably easier if I show you. This guy, he's made the smallest and silliest MIDI synth. Right? Have you guys heard of this guy? He's been around.
Maybe. Maybe.
Let's just watch. This one is the latest update. Now, if I go to, so we've seen this is what it looks like. It's a USB-C thing, right?
Yes.
And I might just play a little bit of his video. I don't want to get a copyright.
I know this guy. Yep.
I'm not trying to sell it. The reason I want to mass produce it is so that we can do this.
Watch what he does. Plugs him into a 4-port hub.
Yeah, nice.
And then here's how small these little synths are. Now they've got a little piezo speaker on them. That's what they are.
Okay.
And then I've just given away kind of a little bit about what he's about to do. But now you've got 4 synths. Chuck it in the MacBook, and right. So this guy's been around. Yeah. He did make
one in the MIDI port.
He made the one in the MIDI cable.
Yeah, the MIDI one. Yep.
Right,
yep.
And we probably might remember that. Then he did a USB one like that. So he's been around. This guy. I just thought it was interesting. There will be a link to that guy and the video and everything. In the blog article.
I have the Ploytech one, which is similar.
Yeah. I think this guy almost started off the Retro Kits company because they kind of wasn't long after that they started doing stuff in MIDI inside MIDI cables as well. Yeah. Anyway, we've got a USB-C piezo synth now. So that was interesting. And does anyone want a quick comment about that before we move on to the next? No. All right, cool.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Next one is, I thought this is the Cornell University. Now, David, where's Cornell University? Is it in
Ithaca, New York?
New York, I thought so. Yeah.
You're muted.
So.
Yeah, I was just gonna say somewhere up north.
Up that way.
Northeast.
They've got their hands.
They've
got their hands on this Moog synthesizer, that apparently is one of it predates Moog Modular. It's one of the very, very early Moog synthesizers, and I don't know if I'm allowed to play all this video, but what I will do is I'll show you a graphic of it first. That is it there. It is a crazy looking thing, right?
Holy.
Yeah.
Wow.
And let's just grab a
Get
little bit of the video. They've got a whole bunch of other musicians in this, but right at this point,
It's like one of those H-Pi controllers.
Here he is playing it. Here we go. That was all I got. I can go back. I'll go back again. Here we go.
Some whale sounds, yeah.
It's kind of like whale sounds, wasn't it? Here we go. I'll go back a little bit. Here we go.
Oh, that's cool.
All right, so the long lost Moog synthesizer. It makes whale sounds, apparently.
Sounds like it had a drone going as well.
It is a really
Keys and
interesting
whales.
looking thing. I mean, are they keys? Are they foot pedals? What are those things?
It looks like the microtonal controller by H-Pi. If you look that up, it looks kind of like that. Look at a funky keyboard.
Like, I'm not going to play this video because I definitely know that I'll be getting in trouble with the tubes of you. But let me just sort of scroll through some of the. I mean,
Do some still shots. Yeah.
There's another photo of it there. There's even like they've had to fix it, and there's manuals and stuff in here, and there's a close up of that weird interface. And there he is there. This predates this. So when you're looking at this, this synthesizer predates. So he would have been in his 50s or 40s there, as a fairly young man, and this thing predates that. So yeah, Cornell University have got their hands on a very early Moog synthesizer.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah, it looks microtonal.
Now, I would like to know
does.
more about it. So I was kind of hoping that Cornell University had some more information on their website, and I couldn't find it. So the more if I do find anything more out about it, I'll let you guys know.
Makes sense because the university would fund something weird like that, not a typical synth. They would fund a strange,
thing.
So.
And then obviously when they do the performance, they've got to bring in all the the regular musicians.
Yeah.
And,
That older lady was jamming on the drum there. That was
Well, there's a 6-minute video
Go with the pipe.
That was cool. On their website.
that was
You
cool.
can go check it out on the Cornell University website. So that's interesting. I think that's a bit of news for us to talk about. And the last one is a Eurorack module. Yes, it is. And I couldn't find any reference on this on Modular Grid. So this is the one I couldn't find on Modular Grid. Now this is called Cuisine, and it's by a company called what's their name again? Flaoting Knobs. Now Flaoting, I don't know if it's done on purpose, but the Flaoting is spelled Flaoting. I don't know if that's a typo. Yeah, not sure. This is what it looks like anyway. So it's a sequencer. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. Here we go. If I can get that video to improve, it's really, really crap. Sorry, guys. Here we go. It's better. It's got tracks by the looks of it.
It's easy to program. Yeah.
Pretty straightforward, isn't it? like a crossfader sort of knob thing, is it? Oh, like a modulation knob. Okay, cool.
But does it get weird?
And he's disappeared. There seems to be a lot of these. Like, there's 2 modules today with those, keyboard type
keys,
mechanical keys entry. Even Behringer were going to bring one out with their RD9 Eurorack module, I think. But anyway, that's a sequencer by Flaoting Knobs called Cuisine. And I couldn't find a modular grid. It is actually a Eurorack module. So anyway, it's €450. So it is on a little bit on the pricey side. I think it's going to have a lot of competition with that price point, because people are going to be looking at the Metropolix from Telegel. They're going to be looking at
It's just a sequencer, so there's no inbuilt sounds.
I think it's pretty much a sequencer. Let me just double check.
Okay, I misinterpreted. I thought it was generating the sounds as well.
Maybe it was. Let me just double check. No, it's a sequencer. 4 CV control voltage outputs ranging from 0 to 8 volts, which is interesting. 8 gate triggers outputs for volt ranges for 0 to 5. 4 gate inputs. MIDI TRS, so it does MIDI. It's just a sequencer. Okay. Musical features.
Competition.
There's transposing, gate length, Euclidean rhythm generator, velocity control, drum track with full range of velocity per step, play mode options, individual gate length control per step. So it's got like quite a lot of sequency sort of stuff in it. These days, I think it would be hard for you to not want to put that stuff in. There's lists everywhere. Just go to someone else who's made a sequencer and get the list of features. But I still think that that's a price that's going to be hard to compete with in the market. They may have to look at, I don't know, building it in another way to make it cheaper, or maybe look at reducing some of their profit margin. If it's a boutique-y sort of thing by a boutique company, ready to ship mid-January if you do want something like this. It does stand alone on your desk, by the way. It's one of those modules which will sit like the Roland IRA ones do, but it also mounts inside Eurorack. Now, I do like that. I mentioned that before a few weeks ago. Like, I really like that when people do Eurorack modules.
Yeah, I like that. Because if you don't want to get loads of Eurorack or get into it, you can use it as a sort of desktop type of thing.
Yeah,
I like that
cool.
idea.
And it's just powered by USB-C. So, yeah, exactly, Darren, exactly. So there's a couple of cool things about it. It looks nice. Definitely looks nice. It's got a nice look to it. The intuitiveness of the, I don't know, interface may be questionable. It kind of looks a little bit like the Behringer sequencer on the MS1 synthesizer, in my opinion. I don't know where they're getting the ideas from, but and that's not the best sequencer in the world, that's for sure. That's it for news. We got through it. Hooray! I told you there was lots. No, this the lack of news rubbish. What's going on?
Yeah,
you just got to find it.
Always look at modular. Tons of modular.
Well, it's not always in the place that you think it is too, Andy. So, I mean, obviously one of the most obvious places is to look at modular grid, but it's not always there. Just like this one wasn't. So, you got to know where to look.
Matrix Synth has weird stuff on there once in a while.
Yeah, I haven't checked them out for a while. Yeah. Anyway, we're going from the Recodrum to V Collection 10 to MiniFreaks. Couple of firmware updates. MiniFreak got one. OP1 Field got one. Then we had a look at the Nibbler, which is an interesting gate module. Then there was that Gliss. I think
Good
that
name
one's
too.
pretty cool. The Gliss with that sort of touch control, with the recordable touch control. There was the smallest synth and silliest synth in the world. There was the long-lost Moog synth at Cornell University. And there was the Cuisine sequencer.
So we've had small, big, old, new, pretty much the whole spectrum.
Yeah.
I would get those
nothing
USB
blue,
synths
though,
and wire in some jacks to them. Take the speaker off and put some little jacks in them.
Yeah.
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 Put a 3.5mm jack on it.
I don't see those projects being. I mean, I think it's kind of like a bit of fun. That's where
It is.
It is fun.
Yeah.
It is, and
Well, it's still going to be a little. It's
yeah,
not gonna be a
well,
great
it's-
synth. Right?
that's the thing.
Exactly,
He's not explored the sonic territory. He's explored the miniaturization territory. I
It's
think.
cute.
I mean, I could probably get a couple of old computer floppy drives and play Star Wars with them if you want.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Good
Done that
floppy
before.
drives.
Or printers.
Yeah, or dot matrix printers. Yeah.
Just dot matrix
Yeah.
printers.
I don't think they're as easily to find though. The dot matrix printers.
They used to be on the Verge collections all over the place, didn't they, Rance?
Get on a free cycle.
There's
somewhere, I'm
houses
sure.
built on top of them now.
Yeah.
Yeah, landfill.
There's so much land in this country, and yet we're still building houses on top of old rubbish dumps.
Mm-hmm.
Scratch your head moment. Anyway, that's it for news. That's it for pretty much everything in terms of the main show. We do have, I guess, if you've watched my YouTube channel, you probably would have noticed that I did a little jam during the week on the
You did.
SQ-64, and I did have a
Indeed,
little
you
chat
did.
to a couple of you guys. I have not unpacked it. It's still sitting there. There it is there.
Oh,
So, I mean, we could talk about this, I guess, because I guess one of the things I didn't do in the video is I didn't talk on that video.
no talking.
Yeah, it was just music. And
Some people like that.
So what I'll do is I'll load up the Ableton project that I had with it. We can do that too. Hopefully that loads without crashing the computer. Okay, so there's the Ableton project there. So that will all become familiar. You guys would have seen that on the video. And there's the SQ1. Now, before I do anything, I can just press play and you guys can see what it does, right? So we can unmute channels.
Oh, that was my complaint with this thing. And now I remember. You can't do one-handed operation because that damn button's across the other side.
Yeah, the shift is over there.
Yeah,
can't
it should be
do-
right above those other guys.
I'm
was
stretching
bad.
my fingers. No, you can't.
Yeah, it'd be good if it was near the mute. Yeah.
All right, let's do a little lay of the land first before we get into the SQ-64. So what is going on here? You've got 3 melodic tracks, A, B, and C, and then the D is the drum track. Now, just to nip it in the bud real quick, the drum track is done through MIDI. I'm using a USB
Okay.
MIDI connection here, and I'm using a drum track on Ableton, which is there. So I'll just mute those other 2, and I'll just play the drum track. So you can see them all firing off there. Right? Nothing exciting. But the cool thing about drum tracks in this is I think is it gate and D or is it pitch and D? There he goes, pitch and D. Did you see that? So now I've got this little kind of drum pad menu thing here. I've got the white drum pads that signify 1 to 16. These are your drum pads themselves, the sounds, right? And over here is your step sequencer. So that's 16 steps. That would be 32 steps if you filled the whole thing up. I don't know what this middle bit's used for. I don't think it's used for anything. Now there's different views. You can actually go into global and change the view, and there's like, this is a different layout. And that's one of the updates.
Kind of like
that
the
I did.
Force, where you can have different things showing at once.
Yeah, kind of like that. And I actually really like this. This is part of the new firmware. So like, for example, if I wanted to find out what drums, in fact, I might be able to zoom. Can I zoom in on here? There we go. If I hold down this button here, can you see just down where my little finger's flipping around in the bottom corner? I don't want to push this too far up. Okay, there we go. You can see that is a different color to that. So if I let it go, it's intuitive. It's telling me that that is being used, and it also shows you on the screen as well with a little 0. Do you see that there? So that that pad and that pad are being used on that step. On that step. Do you see? So this is really intuitive. I thought this is actually really cool. And when it comes to sort of drum pad editing, I like this. I like this a lot. So yeah. Now
I have to get it out and update it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now how do we get out of this? We'll just click pitch again, don't we? Now, if I mute that. Now the other thing I kind of want to show you guys is, okay, first let's look at how I've connected it. I mean, that's pretty basic. It is using CV, except for the drum pad, which is MIDI. All right, so you've got pitch, gate, and then the last one, I've got mod, pitch, and gate, and I'm using a mod track to modulate one of the lanes on the MI rings. It's the Ranzoon module here. I want to talk about that one last because that one's got a feature in it that we kind of need to talk a little bit more and unpack it. But just with the basics, pitch and gate, I mean, you guys should know now what that does. It's pretty basic. So,
quick question: can you comment? I know I like to use MIDI with stuff a lot, but can you comment why you use MIDI for the drums and not CV, not gate?
I was just being lazy. So basically,
okay. I thought you said there's a problem with it. I can't remember. So
no. Well, for me, I would use these 8 gate triggers across the back here, and in my case, I would need to go and find 8
drum modules.
Right.
Yeah.
So if I was just being lazy, but in a way, it was kind of cool because I got to see how it gelled with the drum rack in Ableton, and it gelled really, really nicely. So how do I get this down to here? So if I bring the drum rack up really close to you guys so you can see it, whoops. And if I go into D, how do we get this thing to trigger? There was a way you could get this thing to trigger, I forget now. It might have been, that was it. Yeah, I can't work it out. See, I'm still learning this thing too. I was trying to get these to trigger from the thing, but it's not letting me for some reason. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Because there's a lot of these, you know, you've got like these key combinations you've got to press, like pitch and D or gate and D, and it does different things. So anyway, I'll go through that in a sec. So what I want to do is I wanted to show you just really basically. I need to move this out a bit. Do I? Out. See down the bottom here, you've got all this printing. So it says things like reverse, bounce, stotch, random, right? And then you've got 1/32, 1/16, 1/8, 1/4, triplets, resync, polyrhythm, and then clear. Don't use clear. There is an undo, by the way. So if I looked at the sequence, right? So when I'm playing, and if I click shift, I can see that you're looking at rows, right? So track A is running 1/4, okay? Track B is running on 1/16. Track C is running on 1/4. But notice that track B and C are running the randomize algorithm here because that's random there. So that means that all the steps are playing randomly. So when I hit play,
okay.
You'll see all the steps randomly jumping around.
Yeah, cool.
Hey, Ramsey, can you test it real quick? Apparently they fixed the shift. It's a double click to latch it.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah,
Got it.
nice.
Cool. Beautiful.
Nice.
Didn't know. Nice. Thanks for the tip.
Yeah, Chris mentioned in the chat. It's good stuff.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
Now, so one of the so why was this a cool thing? Why did I need to do a video on it? There wasn't anything fantastic about my musical ability. Trust me, it was just whacked together real quick. I wanted to find out about this arpeggiator thing in here, because you know what I'm like with arpeggiators. I love them. In a way, it kind of isn't really an arpeggiator. It's actually more like what I would call a strummer. And what it does, I'm using track C, which is this row here, right? Track C, with the Ranzoon module. Now, the Ranzoon module is, as I said before, it's a Mutable Instruments rings. And I don't know if you guys know, but the Mutable Instrument rings has a polyphonic mode on it. It actually has 2 different polyphonic modes. And basically what it means is it'll play a pitch and gate and let that note ring out, and if it receives another one, it will play up to 4 of those in succession. So in a way, you're getting a strumming sound, which is one of the benefits of this module. And if we go into the pitch menu here, and if you look at track C, you'll see, if I zoom in for you guys, oops, let's zoom out, you'll see that it says polyarp on there. Now, one of the things I was mentioning to you guys on that stream earlier yesterday for you guys, you do have to go in and do some global settings and changes and stuff like that. So with the polyarp, you want to set that to ×1, because I think by default it's set to ×3, and it's insane. It's an insane amount of notes. Now, what it does, let me just tell you what it does first, because that's probably going to be more useful for you, is you can hold down any of those steps, okay? And then when you hold them down, so in this case, we'll hold down this step here, right? When we hold that down, we can literally hold down a bunch of notes there like that. And that's then registered all of those notes on that step. So when we go to play it, if we unmute that, see how it just played a whole bunch of notes on one step?
Yeah, that's cool.
It's really cool. So that is an amazingly cool feature for Eurorack, and there's quite a lot of modules out there that do this strumming thing. Pretty much they've stolen the algorithm from Mutable Instruments, no doubt.
Yeah.
There's Pico from Erica Synth. They've got bells and gongs and stuff. You can get those. There's there's some of those polyphonic modules too that we like Nobular.
Yeah.
They can do stuff like this.
Polycinematic.
Polycinematic, yeah. So there's a lot of this new poly stuff coming out, and I kind of feel like that's a really, really cool feature. And not only is it cool, but it's cool because it's doing it over CV, control voltage. And like, guys, when you're looking at this, you're probably thinking, whoop-de-doo, I can do this on my MIDI keyboard every day of the week. It's not a feature of control voltage until someone actually programs the electricity to actually do this out the back of a CV and gate port. It's kind of a different world. And one of the things that you enjoy with modular synthesizers is the absolute immediacy that you get from voltages going from something to something else. It's so instantaneous. There's no lag. It's just so clean and crisp, isn't it, Chris? It's just one of those cool things. So we'll just do that again, just so you guys can appreciate that.
Well, also because it's real voltages, you also get some weird happy accidents and
yeah,
that kind of stuff.
When you're doing it too, you can transpose it.
Nice.
Do that on the fly. Now, a couple other things I've done with it too. I mentioned before that I wasn't going to tell you about until I got to the C track, and now we're at it. I've used the modulation lane on this one, on track C, and that's really easy. Just hold down the step and you just change the value here. It's hard to see on that camera. Sorry, I have to keep zooming in for you guys. But there you go. You can just change the value just by literally just doing that, holding down each step. And each time it fires off that step, that is a control voltage that's going out, and it's going into one of these control voltage inputs here. In this case, it's the damper, and you can attenuate that with this knob above. And you'll see the damper is this knob, this slider here, right? So as I press play, see how it's that little light on the LED on the slider is adjusting. We're looking at this one here. Remembering it's jumping randomly here, okay? So you can see that's your modulation lane. And that is another cool feature about this sequencer. It's not only has it got pitch and gate, it also has a modulation lane that you can do that cool stuff with. And in a way, it's almost like a crazy LFO if you want, or a steppy LFO if you want to look at it that way. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm programming my modular synths, I have to have a stack of modulation going on, because it's like that meme I showed you earlier today where it's, you know, LFO detector, right? It's a bit of a joke, but that's really why we do it, because we don't want to be putting our hands across all these things and having to manually do it. It's kind of the greatness of it too, and you can do some weird funky things with that.
I have a question. With the modulation entry, is that does that work on steps that aren't playing a note?
Yeah, it would. If you've enabled that step.
I think that's something missing from the BeatStep Pro, because you can. I use the velocity. Been using the velocity out as a modulation source for some of my GP82 testing in experiments, and I think the problem.
Would be a way to test it.
Yeah, I got the feeling that if the note isn't on, you can't change the velocity, because it's truly a velocity on the BeatStep Pro, not a automation lane.
Yeah, we want a dull run. What we're going to do is we'll go one really low, one really high, one really low, one off. Yep, one high, couple off, one sort of middle, one high, one low, one high. Okay, cool. Let's have a look at this. So what we need to do is we kind of need to watch two things. We need to watch that second slider, because that's going to visually feedback. And these are your modulation steps. So you've got 2 and a blank, 2 and 2 blanks. See that? You guys can see that clearly, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Are they this? Okay.
Now I'm doing it in order now. It's not randomly jumping. Yeah, it's definitely doing it. So
Cool.
That's doing it on all the steps that aren't even firing notes. That is really, really cool. From what I can see just then, I could see that reacting. I mean, obviously it's not going to make a sound because you're not playing a sound on a specific step.
But if you're using it as a modulation source for something not related to the literal note that you're playing, which you can do, then that would be really cool.
Yeah, and if you get a note that tails, then that modulation on the next step will affect it. Or if you want to preempt something, you could modulate it before it hits it as well. So, for example, you might be wanting some sort of glissando sort of effect, you know, where it drops in pitch or it rises in pitch or something like that. So you can do things where it's off the actual note being triggered, but on the step before. On
the release cycle.
Yeah. Yep.
Long tail and you release, and then you got
Okay, so there's a couple of other things I wanted to sort of show you guys before we wrap it up with this. Where are we? So this one here, isn't it? Okay, so I talked about transposing and polyrhythms and things like that. One of the things I forgot to mention, arpeggiator, not polyrhythms. I actually wanted to mention polyrhythms, and that is when you set a step. In this case, I can set that to I'll zoom in again for you guys so you can read the screen. So I'm going to set track B to 14 steps instead of 16. So you'll see track A, I've just clicked on A, you can't see that I have, is 16. Track B is 14. Track C is 16. So right, if I go to that, and then if I zoom out again, sorry about the bad camera stuff here, but I'm really not handling it well today. What I want to do is I want to enable polyrhythm, which is this column here, and it's actually written. You don't need a manual for it. It's written on the actual thing. You just literally turn it on, turn it off, and when you turn polyrhythm, it'll tell you on the screen that it's on and off. Now, what that does is when that plays that B track. So if we we'll just have A and B running together, right? Because A and B are the two 110s here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to watch this kind of do polyrhythms. So what you're looking for in your music when you're doing polyrhythms, if no one understands what polyrhythms are, which I'm sure everyone here does, is it doesn't sound repetitive. So A, if I mute A, so that's cycling every 14 steps, and it's on a randomize. So it's really kind of, when you do the maths, what are you looking, 14 out of 16? How many steps before it actually starts to catch up to a proper sequence again? You just did the maths, right? And that's one of the cool things about polyrhythms. And you can set polyrhythms to an odd number. It doesn't have to be an even number. You can set it to whatever you want. So that was that, and I thought that was pretty easy to set. Like, you literally just set your step length, and you just enable polyrhythm on that particular track, and that's instantaneous. It's a really, really cool feature. And all these things, right? So just think about it. All these things that I've just shown you are on one pattern of 4 tracks. I haven't actually moved away from selecting another pattern. I've transposed, I've polyrhythmed, I've strummed with an arpeggiator, all this kind of crazy stuff, just on one pattern. Then inside the SQ-64, you've got patterns. And then you can copy, for example, you can copy pattern 1 to pattern 2, and then you can slightly edit those, and so that pattern 2 becomes slightly different. You can shift between patterns, and like most sequences do, right? So you've got all that. But then on top of it is one other cool feature that's still inside the one pattern, right? That we haven't even left the pattern yet. So you imagine all that performance stuff. Then you can even go into this thing called the looper, which is something that I haven't actually played with enough yet. So for example, if you're doing a looper, you can actually, I don't know if this works here. So I think you just select a range. There you go, now it's looping in that range. See that?
That's cool.
Or you can go back, do the whole thing. Or you can do it anywhere you want, in the middle.
You do it for breakdowns, or you get less beats and then it repeats.
So let's turn all those other off. It's looping just in here. Or if I want to just loop 2 steps. Cool. So that's the looper. I love it. It's awesome. How do I turn it off? I forget. I think you have to go that like that. I think. But there might be another way to clear it or something. Yeah, and then there are some a lot more features on here that we haven't got into. But just like seriously, just playing around with just one pattern, it's pretty cool. Okay.
The coolest thing is that it fits on one bench.
It does. Now,
Yeah.
I'm gonna admit, right? This is definitely a major competitor to it. This thing. Okay. Straight off the bat, these pads are proper drum pads. Like they, you will have a lot more fun, like performing with this thing. But the size of it is massive compared to the SQ-64. This only has 2 melodic sequences, and it has 1 drum. So this has got 1 extra sequencing lane. You know what though? If you had both, like I do, you can run them together. You can sync to each other. In the SQ-64, you can actually, in the global section, you can find out just in sync mode, right? You can set it to PPQN, active high, so you can change that to. It goes from 4 all the way up to 48. So you can change it. This is like not your MIDI sync. This is your control voltage sync, right? And your beat step will set out a certain. It'll be in your manual of what it's setting out. So you could sync that to this. What was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, there's another mode too, controller mode, where you can use this thing as a controller, which I haven't even looked at yet. So, I think that's more to do with like a MIDI controller, right? Sending out MIDI CCs and stuff. So, yeah, that'll do for now, I think. Anyway.
Question. It's a really dumb question because I know the answer because it's a Korg. Does it remember its sync settings when you turn the power off and on?
Yeah, everything that you do on this, I noticed that when I set this thing up for that sequence that I did the video on, and I turned it off, and this morning I turned it back on again, it was as I set it, everything the same. So it has a save state on power off.
Yeah, that's the other.
Which I love. Synthesizer companies that don't do that need a slap. Yeah. They do.
Exactly.
I agree.
Busy people like us have to sometimes turn a unit off, attend to the family, and then come back, and we don't want to come back and find that our wonderful sequence that we haven't pressed record on yet because we're naughty is gone.
Look, I'll admit this thing.
You could save the state out, right? Couldn't you save it out with USB
you can.
Or something?
You can. There is a companion app that you do via USB that you download from the Korg website, and you can actually bring your sequences in and out and stuff like that. And don't forget too, there's a whole pattern side to this. There's the projects. Let me just quickly show you. There's these 2 buttons here. You've got projects here, and then you've got patterns here, right? Zoom in a bit for you guys so you can see. So that's your projects button there. So you can load projects, and this is just within the device itself. It has memory and everything, and don't ask me what memory it's got, but it's got memory in here. So that's what all that's about. And then outside of that, you've got that.
Plans?
Stop it, Barry. Visit the Korg website and look it up yourself. Yeah. Okay.
So
I'm just checking the chat to see if anyone was asking me questions.
How do you know what if you're on 2.0, the latest firmware? Is there a way to check it without?
Yeah, so I had a little bit of a drama updating the firmware. I want to talk about that. It was a great question, David. So I definitely, number one thing you're going to have to do is download the latest firmware updater. It's like a little program. If you've got Windows, it runs on Windows. If you've got Mac, it runs on Mac. And it's an updater program, and everything happens within it. It's got its own MIDI detecting thing and everything. Now, there's a caveat. If you've got Windows 10 like I do, go and have a look at Tim Showbridge's video. It's actually really interesting. There's a little when you actually install it on Windows, you know how you can go into program x86 and Korg, and then wherever it's installed the actual updater in there. There's a little uninstall exe in there, and when you open it up, it's like it's really cool. It's like this complete little piece of software that you can actually use to remove MIDI devices from Windows. that have gone rogue or you haven't used for years. And one of the bad things that Korg do is this is where Korg need to like, Korg, why do you still do these stupid things?
Yeah.
If
Korg
that
drivers.
device isn't in the top 10, if there's not a spare slot in the top 10 in Windows, it will not detect it.
Yeah.
So you have to you have to sacrifice something. But it's no big deal if you sacrifice something. And let's say you've got 10 devices that you need in Windows, you can always reinstall it later, just to get the firmware update into this thing. I couldn't get it to update on the Mac M1. I don't know what was going on that, so I ended up putting it into Windows, and I had all this drama with this thing not working, and I thought, what the hell? I've installed the driver. What slap? And then I found Tim's video. Good on you, Tim, for doing that, by the way, because it was like, it's almost like there were forums telling people to go and edit system registry. Like, do not go in, unless you know what you're doing, do not go in and edit your system registry. Like, you're crazy. Just do what this guy says. So
My
firmware
Korg drum is
update
a
will
mini
tell
log
you,
tool.
David, to answer your question, the firmware update will tell you if it needs to update. It'll tell you what you've got and what you're going to. All right? But if you haven't used yours, I would bet money that it needs an update. I bought mine from the US, from Korg US, and I got it on that sale that they did. I don't know, was it June or something? We got ours at the same time, didn't we, Andy? I think.
Probably.
Yeah. And the edition that you and I both got was just the USB cable edition. It doesn't come with a power cable.
Right.
I don't know why they do that. By the way, if you're ever wondering what power cable goes into it, it's just your standard Mini Brute / ARP Odyssey, all those standard Korg 9-volt with the yellow barrel pin.
They have that funny notch on the back of the adapter. Is like
it's actually a
chevron
Sony
thing.
Yeah, it's a Sony spec, 1.7 millimeter, I think it is. It's a Sony spec. If you're ever wondering,
it's also worth mentioning that the sort of deals that you guys are getting in, like from Korg USA, we do not get over here in Europe.
We don't get them in Australia either, because there's no such business as Korg.
Yeah,
there is no business called Korg.
If you're an Aussie watching this and you're thinking, okay, I want to get in contact with my local shop, just remember there's no Korg Australia. The company that calls them Korg is a company called CMI. They're a distributor. They are taking a cut on everything that they sell in Australia from Korg. Unlike the US and the UK, who literally have their own Korg division that distributes directly to the shops.
Yeah.
So we are paying technically a higher price. They will argue that we're not, but that's BS. They've got to pay their bills to have their company floating.
Yeah.
Everyone has to make a margin.
They also gallivant around on YouTube as Noisegate, and they don't disclose that they are a distributor of hardware when they're doing these really cool high production value, and they've got heaps of subscribers, and people just think they're a really amazing YouTube channel, and they're not. They're literally a commercial business. I just heard someone drop in to StreamYard.
Who is it? Who is in the house?
Brooks, my God.
Mr. Brooksy.
From the dead.
G'day, Brooksy.
Let's go over
Hello,
here.
people. Is that coming through all right?
Good day, Andy.
Yeah, mate.
Is it working?
Hi, Andy.
Hey, it's working.
I'm here
Out of the
loud and
back.
clear, mate.
You're a pro now, mate. You got it working straight off.
He's got a t-shirt. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is today's T-shirt. The other one was a bit, sticky. Sorry. I said to Darren last night, if I got back in time, I'd jump in. So.
Did you go to Blackpool?
Yeah, we
He certainly did.
Grace and I, yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Cheers, Chris. I saw your comment. That was really, really nice. Thanks very much. And
It was very good.
Yeah, we. Your module was all over it. You could hear the ratchets coming through really nice and clear. That was great.
Yeah.
So we've learned a few little bits and bobs from that, like turn the knob more and.
Yes, variation, my friend. Variation.
Hi, Simon, in the chat. Yeah, Simon was there last night as well. Simon Greatbatch and Dave Walker was there, and A Division he was playing as well. It's cool to meet AD. And
Jamie, obviously.
Jamie was obviously there, which goes without saying. Well, it's a really good event. Jamie puts on a cracking show, and the the venue itself, the brew room is lovely. The staff and everybody there are great. So it was a good night.
Fabulous.
And the first thing I've done when I've got home is poured myself a beer because I deserve it.
Oh, actually, I would not mind one myself, to be honest.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Beer today.
Yeah.
Yes. It's really, really nice. We talked about what did we talk about at the start of the show that you were kind of, your name was mentioned. I forget what it was now.
About me again.
Well, I
know what it was. It was one of the memes.
Being part of the testing team.
It was one of the memes.
The FU meme. The FU keyboard meme.
FU keyboard. Right, I'm going to have to go back and see these because I missed them. So
the middle
we did
finger.
meme of the year today. So at the start of the show, we did the meme. We went through all the memes, collated about the top 12 or 15 or whatever it was, and then we just voted on what was the most favourite. So you can check that out later.
Will do.
Yeah,
Hiya, David, by the way, and hiya, Chris. Hiya, Ranz. Hiya, Ian. Hiya, Darren. Hiya, everybody else who I've not said hi to yet. Hi, Andy. Yeah.
So yeah, and you know we've pretty much chewed off most of the show already, so we can chew the fat now. That's fun.
Yeah. The man who knows Beatstep Pro the best has just joined the house. Raz was just showing us the SQ-64, and I was comparing it to the Beatstep Pro for a few things, and I mentioned it's been a while since I've used it. The question of whether because I was using the velocity output of one of the Beatstep Pro tracks as a modulation source, and one of the things I wondered.
Yeah, the model track. Yeah. Do you have to set it on the knob? I've never used it. Yeah.
No, it's just one of the knob selections is Vel.
I forgot to mention this, Andy. I know it's early for you, mate, so I'm not gonna punish you. But the big update for 2.0 or 2.3 or whatever we're up to now on this SQ-64 was that they added an SH-101 style sequence input on it. And to be fair, before 2.0, this SQ-64 was like basically you had to program it, and that's why people didn't love it, because they didn't really want to sort of. You can't really be musical if you have to program something. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those things you have to set up, and sometimes that's just really like David's done. He's just chucked his back in the box, and he's probably not loved it, and you know, for great reason. I feel for great reason. So the SH-101 style is the new. So there's basically 3 ways you can input sequences now on this thing, which actually makes this thing quite unique, because I don't know of many other sequences that have 3 different possible ways to input sequences in it. So you're going to hit someone's box if you've got 3 options to input sequences. One of the things I wanted to show you is when you do want to input a sequence. So let's go to this view again, and you select the track that you want to do it, and then you press record. It goes into SH-101 mode, and this whole bottom part is the keyboard. It's a bit of a naff keyboard. You can use an external keyboard, by the way. Now, how it works is as you're pressing the keys, it then progresses across each of the steps, right? Like an SH-101 does. But even better is it's not constantly playing from 1 to 16 back, 1 to 16 back, and I get those sort of types of inputting of sequences. They really do my head in. What this does is it waits for you to finish doing that. So if I just put that key in there as the first step, actually we've got to go pitch, don't we? Okay, there we go. Then the next step, then the next step, then the next step, and it progresses on, right? But the thing is, if you want to change that step, you just hold that back down again and press the note again, and it will then continue on from there. That is powerful, because you're not being dictated by a machine and you have to catch up to it, sort of thing. You're just controlling what you want to control at the point you're controlling, and if you need to go back and redo something, I kind of find that's actually really cool. It's like the Beatstep Pro in a way, but at the same time you've got those other 2 ways of, you can go back and edit the step manually, hold down the step and dial the value in. You can do that if you want to.
The Beat Step Pro. I mean, I never do all that putting in a note, down.
Yeah,
I mean,
bugger that.
God, I've not got enough of my life left for that.
Absolutely.
So you always just set the key, set it to keyboard mode and play it in, and it automatically quantizes. So the problem with that SH101 mode is I think X101 so said in the chat. Does it have rest? You've got to manually enter the steps. You've got to yes, it will do, but you've got to somehow manually click in the rests like you did on the SH. You know. Hit, stop, hit, stop. And I wouldn't want to do that in the middle of a set. I just on the Beat Step Pro, I can hit record and go do.
So you've got that,
and it'll just go.
Yeah. So you've got that mode. You've got the SH101 mode, and you've also got the manual entry dial the node in mode. So you've got all three.
Yeah, cool.
Which is cool. Yeah, the SH101. If you want to do the rests and the ties, you've got to use the I think you hit the record button, and hold the step down. There's various combinations that will do things. But I was funny said it's 40 years since was it Synchrotron? It's 40 years since it programmed an SH101 sequencer. Yeah, I know how you feel. It's like, whoa. Yeah. I know that programming sequences can be frustrating. And I kind of feel like the more intuitive we can be as computer programmers and synth developers about programming a sequencer, the better it is for us musicians to just get on with making music, right?
That's why I love drums. And TR style sequencing, love it.
That's again on the Beat Step Pro. The 16 steps that you get on those buttons, that gives you that, and that's really really intuitive. Just put things in, take things out.
Yeah, it's very quick.
Do that a lot. Yeah. I was saying to Grace actually in the car on the way back, I said, I didn't do the things I used to do at EMOMs like that. You know, putting things in, taking things out, putting steps in program. I didn't do any of that last night at all. So note to self: change things more.
Do more.
Really? Yeah.
You made up for it with energy. The massive energy on that set.
It was buzzing crowd. I mean, honestly, the crowd are really up for it. You know that they were there there was obviously the appreciative EMOMers. You know, the sitting in the chair, beard strokey, going, what an interesting texture he's generating kind of crowd. And then there's the locals who just wanted to dance, and they did. All night.
I like that. I like that.
And they would come up to you, and they would talk to you, and they go, we sort of set up a little bit off, you know, to the side, just we could carry things on, a bit like Movement 81 fashion, and of course I opened it up, and this guy was passing to go at the bog, and he went, "Fucking hell, what's that?" You know, I'm going, we'll get. And it was. Do you know what every single one of them does? And I go, no.
It just looks pretty.
Yeah, it's like the illuminations in a little box.
That's why Darren got his.
It was really the venue's really friendly. The locals are really appreciative that you come and do it, and so you didn't need to get up for it. It was already a buzzing crowd. All the performers there on the night were just top draw. It was great. It was really a fun event, and I recommend it to anybody, even if it means driving a bit further or stopping over in a hotel for a night, because you know the fact that Jamie does stream it out to the world, if anybody can tune in, it just makes it that bit more special, a bit more of an event, and he does a grand job. The PA is superb. Yeah, it's just great. A big 5 stars to Jamie.
How long does it take to drive from Sheffield to Blackpool?
Do you know, it took longer to drive home today than it took to drive there last night. I mean, we took a back roads route actually to avoid the motorways, which are just terrible at the minute. So we went through the Peak District. We went through Castleton, Winnets Pass, Chapel Henley Frith, through that way, and then onto the A6, and then up to the A6 and joined the M61 and then M6. It took us it took 2 hours 20 minutes, I think, to get there last night. We did it in really good time. It's taken us longer to get home. There was much more traffic around Manchester and stuff. So, well, it was daylight on a sunny day.
There was
driving
a game
to the Peak District on a sunny day. So,
wasn't there a big game on in Manchester today?
I have to ask because it's hard to tell on camera with all those lights in your face and all the fog. Is it hard to see your stuff sometimes?
the smoke machine. It was hard sometimes for the audience to see the people performing because it was just these big.
Yeah, that for sure.
And it's fine.
But you know, lost sight of your gear, right? You're close enough where you can still see it all.
Jamie has two of those sort of like flat square light LED light things on either side, so the stage is actually really well illuminated. I've got my little light, which on the side of the case, which I switch on. So no, it didn't notice that at all. But yeah, it's from the audience side, which is where the room's dark and all the smoke comes out. You can lose the performer in a cloud of smoke. It's really quite funny. But it's got the lasers were great. Sorry, Darren, go.
I was just going to say the same. I didn't find it. I had brought the light in case I needed the light, and I didn't really need the little light because you can actually see, like he says, you can see your set in front of it, even though the lights are flashing from, because they're coming from just behind, so you don't really get it on the on your equipment really, so you can sort of see what you're doing. Unless I was meant to come.
I was meant to come and do it last night, but me and Jamie had a conversation about I'm gonna after I've moved, I'm gonna come back up and come for the weekend and do one then. But I'm definitely gonna come over and do it.
Yeah.
Where does Nick do his? Does he in Bath?
This is in Bath. Yeah. Well, actually, when I moved to Somerset, I'll be 16 miles from Nick.
I thought he did one in Bristol.
No. He's based in Bath, and they do it in Bath.
I know he's based in Bath, but I thought he did one of them in Bristol. I don't know why Bristol's coming up.
He did do a Sonic. He did a Sonic State.
Oh, Bristol show.
Bristol show. That was about 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah,
it wasn't an EMOM.
That's right. That was just in a pub in Bristol, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Bath EMOM again is slightly different. Again, Grace and I were talking about this on the car on the way back. It's slightly different. It's curated to a higher level, if you like, than your average thing. He obviously wants to put on friends, people he knows. He does want to put on local people, which he does. But there's also like that, the sort of name slots that he has. Obviously, like battery operated orchestra headlining it. You know, Dom, God rest his soul, playing it, and Matt Hodson, Maths doing his. So people who are quite well known in on the music scene already. So it is a slightly different thing. But again, if you can get on that slot, I'm really hoping that Grace and I can get a slot at the Bath one. Again, because it's good exposure. You know, going through Sonic State is a much bigger audience if you can get it.
Well, you've got somewhere to stay, Andy.
Jim did the.
Yeah, cheers, Ian.
I was saying to Jim earlier I think he was in the chat before. He did one through Sonic State, and
Jim played it. Yeah, he did. He played.
Yeah,
he got asked.
And they're raving
deservedly
about it.
so.
Yeah,
deservedly so.
I watched it too, so I can attest. It was good.
Yeah, well, Jim's a superstar. He's one to watch.
We need to do one here, Chris. I reckon. We should,
we'll all come over.
Brave us, yeah.
I actually looked into it because I looked at the EMOM website and they. You don't even need to tell them. I read into it you literally just set it up and call it EMOM. It's literally that.
Yeah.
It's kind of open source
for decades. So
yeah,
it's kind of open source entertainment night.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Well, I tell you, when I get to Frome, because there isn't one in Frome, but I'm gonna find a pub and we'll do one. You know.
Yeah.
So that.
I was. You know how I was talking about Andrew Oz, the guy that does Expert Sleepers, and he did this video way back. I think it was like 2014 or something, where he set up this little sort of presentation, I guess you call it, in a pub, and it was literally like he found the sort of back part of the pub where the fireplace was, and he set up his laptop and his modular kind of along the wall, and he had all these like nappies in there that were like, what's an oscillator? and like just throwing stuff like that. And he you know what Oz is like, he's like your typical engineer. He's like, oh no, are you serious? Oh, okay. And so he starts explaining like literally oscillator 101. So yeah, whatever you do, don't choose a place where you've got the naffies. You kind of almost had that, Brooksy, with that guy going, what the hell is that?
Well, yeah. Well, that's nice. It's really lovely.
Yeah.
That one. Sorry, I'm just trying to respond to half god, half biscuits request.
I wonder how many blokes turn up to an EMOM going, "Where's the electricity? Where's my Tesla coils? I expected Tesla coil music."
Battery powered orchestra.
Yeah.
There you go. Brooksy's put it in.
Yeah.
Wagoo doesn't have the. I don't think he's got the right to put links in, so he just puts the. If you ever see that bunch of letters and numbers from Wagoo, that's the video ID. All you have to do is just go youtube.com/watch $V equals and put that number in.
Oh god, it's got a name as well. Yep. I can't remember what it's called.
The
Google ID.
Video ID.
Google ID, I think.
No, video ID. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so for me, SQ-64 is not dead and buried. It's not going to end up in the box. Like David, I don't think yours is
awesome.
I don't think yours is. I think just get that firmware update, mate. Get it out. Get it updated. Watch the Tim Showbridge video if you're having trouble updating it. By the way, if you have any dramas, you can always message me. Anyway, don't mind you doing that.
I've been messing with it a little bit right now. I do like the screen a lot. It's pretty real nice screen, and some things are pretty intuitive actually. But like I went to the loop mode. I got it to do a little loop section, but then I could not get rid of the loop to save my life.
I think you set first to last. I think that's the only way I could work it out.
Yeah, because when you left,
persistent, right? You just have to turn all the triggers on. Yeah,
just like smash your hands against it until something.
Turn it off, turn it on. No, that one we probably remember.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, that sounds good.
That's what I'll do. Now it is cool. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I kind of look at it just like another module, right?
Yeah.
And you know, some time into it, use it regularly, you'll probably find something useful. If you don't, then you probably won't. Yeah.
That's it. I mean, it's like, I had the BeatStep Pro for years, so I've had enough time with that to sort of, like Brooksy uses his for his pivot. I know I could use mine's sitting right here. It's a no-brainer. I think, for me, I think the BeatStep Pro wins. If you're going to say SQ-64 versus BeatStep Pro, I think BeatStep Pro wins because I feel like it's easier to get yourself up and running.
It's more immediately usable.
Yeah, but I feel like the SQ-64 has got a few bells and whistles up its sleeve that kind of make it. I think that generative side of it, of the sequencing, makes it interesting. Like where I was showing with the poly strumming,
doesn't have any of that, does it?
Nah, I mean that's and the CV really is big on this. One of the things that really completely does my head in about the BeatStep Pro is that stupid ground loop noise issue that it's got, and they had to use that special splitter thing, and like that was just a complete naff.
I never have it linked up to the computer or anything. I have a USB plug, quite a good quality USB plug, which I use. I mean the KeyStep 37 as well is USB powered, and I use a separate plug. I don't have the two. Each of these plugs has got two USB outlets, but I don't because it has caused problems in the past.
Yeah,
you know, even with that stupid sort of splitter wall warp fangled thing in it. So yeah, that's a bad design. I don't know why they did it. Why they couldn't just put a 9-volt on it or something.
Yeah. And that's the cool thing about the SQ-64. It's got the 9-volt connection on it.
I assume a lot of people use it with computers, so there's your USB right there.
Yeah, they will do. Yeah. It makes pretty. You do get. They do get.
And it cuts down on having to include little crap that costs them more money. So.
Well, yeah, half god, half beast. He says I want one now. God help him. He's not going to help. But all I'll say is, if you can find someone who's got one before you go and buy one, because it may not be for you. Or even if you can, get yourself a BeatStep Pro next to it, and then find out if you like that one better. I do think it's kind of one or the other for people. I mean, I agree. I'm different. I'm a bit weird. I tend to sort of embrace everything.
We collect.
We're collectors.
I mean, I don't need the SQ-64. I've got an SQ-1, which I've not unboxed it yet, really, because I will use it sometime in the future. But I don't need the sophistication of an SQ-64.
CV and Gate, Ian. Are you sure about CV and Gate?
He's got CV and Gate in his synths. He does.
Yeah. I've got CV and Gate in my synths, Andy. So you missed the moment earlier in the show. I did say there was a module that was shown today, and I actually said if it was MPE, I would buy modular.
Oh, what
that's the
was
first.
There is MPE.
I'm not saying you have to watch it.
Yes, Andy. Because I've already got getting 10 of them.
But one particular module.
Oh, no, don't make me spend more money. This list is getting so long and so.
Yeah, tell me about it. I made the same comment.
I'm gonna need another bloody big case.
I'm not going down the modular.
Half God, half best. You do not need one. You seriously don't. You've got an SQ1, a Launchpad Pro Mark III, and a BeatStep Pro, and a Keystep. I think you're fine, mate.
You've got enough.
Yeah.
He doesn't need
one. I think you're good, mate.
Get on with the BeatStep Pro. It's real.
Yeah. What I was going to say is that with the SQ1 that Andy held up before, I think Darren held up as well, you can actually set one of them up with the SQ-64. Now, there's a caveat here. So one of the things is it's not going to play as if like you've gained an extra track. So, for example, if you start transposing the SQ-64, it's not going to transpose your SQ1. But I just had a really, really cool idea. And I reckon you'd be able to do that if there was a way you could, and you can, I think through modular you definitely can, if you could pick up the bass note on the transpose and you could send that into the SQ1, it would definitely transpose, because the SQ1 can transpose through, so you could do it, but I don't think that's a massive challenge. I would actually just prefer just to have an SQ1 synced to the SQ-64, and then you've got yourself a fourth sequencer lane, basically, for melodic stuff, that is. Oh, actually, you've got two, don't you, in the SQ1? Technically, you've got two, right?
2 8s,
Two, yeah. So technically, you'd end up with 5 potential melodic lanes, and then 1 drum lane. I tell you what, that firmware update, if you do not have a firmware update on your SQ-64, you are missing out on that drum track thing. That is a massive improvement. If you didn't do it, you'd be like pulling your hair out trying to program those drums. That would have been a nightmare. Can I mention too, I did set up a Ableton drum kit for this. I set up a Roland 606 kit. I know it's a little analogy sort of sample thing, but if anyone wants it, it's set up for the SQ-64, so it will trigger from pad 1 to pad 16. So your kick is on pad 1, let me work it out. What have we got? Bass drum is on pad 1, snare, hi-hat closed, hi-hat open, hi-hat combo, tom, 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 cymbal, 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 mod, kick mod, snare, 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 and a clap. There's your 16. So if anyone wants that, I will be more than happy to send that through as a file for you. It's only Ableton, by the way, for Ableton users. So if you've got an SQ-64 and you want a drum kit that works in Ableton over MIDI, hit me up and I'll send it to you. I'm not breaking any copyright laws to doing this either. They're free samples. So, yeah. I like, so one of the things I want to do, Andy, is I definitely want to get some more percussive modules. And Brooksy, the X101 black box micro that you've got? 101, 1010.
Bitbox
micro.
1010.
1010 bitbox micro, yeah.
Yeah. Because that's got 8 CV inputs, doesn't it?
It has 8 CV inputs, 8 CV.
So you can trigger 8 samples
if you want it.
Yeah,
you
it's
can
a great
trigger 8
module.
separate samples. If you, I mean, it sounds silly, but I mean, I had it in the rack last night, and it wasn't getting any CV. It was just getting MIDI, and I was playing it almost like as a polyphonic module. Well, I was playing it as a polyphonic module, the samples. But you can also a bit like you can on the MPC. You can set it to multi-sample automatically, so it'll send out the MIDI to a device and play it back, and you can say I want every third note over 5 octaves, and it'll do it. Takes about a couple of minutes, and it will depending on how long your sample length is, and it will do it. So, but if you've got
and it sucks it back into the memory.
If you've got something already set up with a drum kit,
and
you're sampling from over an octave, however you say, I want it to start on C2 and go to C3 every semitone. It will sample all the drums that you've got set up and make a multi-sample of those drums.
Cool.
I like that. That's
Not only that, but you can have it record your entire set while you're playing with it as a channel.
Having said that, I have tried. There is an issue with that though, and that is
really
that. Yeah, I mean, we tried to do it at an EMON once when we had it coming in, but as soon as you came out of the sampling mode to record, it stopped. And that
sample stops.
What if that's a firmware thing?
Yes, it may well be. Maybe I need to do a new firmware. But
do you think
people also use it to record CV? So if you want to record modulations as a pad, you can do that as well, like your little Planar 2, Renzi.
Yeah.
So you
you can do that also.
Multiple CV recordings and control stuff and.
Yeah, you can do that with the expert sleeper stuff as well. What I was going to say is the micro versus the non-micro. What are your thoughts on that, Brooksy?
You got more sample slots on the big one. You've got 16.
Okay.
And you've actually got
2 reasons I bought the newer one, the micro.
Yeah.
It had newer firmware, which the old one didn't have, and it was also fatter. I didn't have space for the big one.
Yeah, it's true. It's actually pretty small. It's quite economical in terms of Eurorack space.
Yeah, it's what 20 HP or something, isn't it?
That's great.
Where am I pointing? There it is. There you go. So
hang on.
You can see the ins and outs. The top 8 are inputs, and the bottom 8 are outputs. There you go. It's all still patched up, so
so your
all that's got
first 2 rows are inputs, and your last 2 rows are outputs, right?
Yeah, your top 2 are in.
Yeah.
Out, bottom ones are out, and there's some at the side.
And you've got some. Yeah.
The 2 jack sockets on the right hand side. That's MIDI in and MIDI out.
Okay.
And that's a micro SD card.
Yeah.
And the screen is a touch screen, which I also make use of. So you can see here, there's what we've got there is there's the 2 red cables is a stereo out, and the purple cable is just a mono out. So there were two different things, and I've got it set up so that each sample was on a different each sample pack set was on a different MIDI channel. So I was just changing the MIDI channel on the key step 37 to change the sounds. So that took a bit of fiddle faddle, but we got there in the end.
Yeah. I'll bring that up here actually, so you guys can see it better. There. That's it there.
Yeah, that's the one.
It's a great unit.
You can get a blackface version as well.
You can get a blackface. You can. I mean, I did find some aspects of it a bit tricky to get my head around at first, as is always the case because it's deep. But ultimately now
it's nerdy. Really there's some deep stuff in there. Yeah.
There are some things every time. There are some things like I go, Grace, why can't I delete this bloody sample now? Why can't I get it? I always there's some funny issues with the file structure that I think, why can't I find that sample? Why can't I get rid of that sample? But it's generally I would thoroughly recommend it. I really would. It's a great module. I mean, there are other similar things. There's one from 4MS, but you only get 4 samples. I think the squid sample is really good too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, that's got certain.
It's also big.
It's got certain.
It's
big, and it's got a file size limit as well.
Its bit rate is not as good as
the
Bitbox. The Bitbox has got a much better sampling and bit rate. The Squid one is not as good. That's where it downfalls. I think it's only 48 no, it's only 44. I think it's only 44, which
that's
is
fine. Most of my samples are 44 anyways.
I mean, CD quality is not that bad.
Samples,
yeah.
If you're resampling your modular.
But I want my lo-fi sample to be in 96K.
Yeah. And then turn it to an MP3 and then
So I can sample all of that crunchiness.
I want to hear all the harmonics and the crunch.
By the way, speaking of weird stuff to buy, look at this link I found. I was looking for little bits. I put it in the chat here. It's called Squishy Circuits. It's conductive Play-Doh for kids to make circuits with.
Okay. Kids, don't stick your tongue in it.
Right. To electrocute themselves. So.
It's kind of cool, though.
Yeah.
It's a cool idea.
$439 equals $739 Australian for the Bitbox Micro.
I got mine for just over 300 second hand.
I'm going to look for mine used as well.
UK pounds.
Yeah, so that's about $600 Australian. So that to me, that's
I got mine on sale, perfect circuit.
Yeah,
just for a sale.
Yeah,
I'm going to wait for mine.
Quid.
Yeah, $150 off would be good, I think. Yeah, I don't. And the thing is, I don't mind if it's an older version because you can just update firmware on it. So I'm cool with that.
Well, you couldn't at the time. So double check the original one. You can get the latest firmware because you couldn't when I bought the Micro.
Okay. Well, for me,
it was a different thing.
For me, it just has to fire off samples, and yeah, I'm happy with that.
Because it's funny because the black box is the same size as the original Bitbox, and its firmware was also upgradable at the same time as the Micro, but for some reason the original one was not. I don't know why that is.
They probably just use different processors on them.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, you got to remember with Euro modules, they're usually a different power. You know, they take a different power source, and it requires a different type of voltage treatment and a different type of circuit. I mean, it's incredible.
Black box plays Doom too.
Well, exactly, but it's incredible that we're looking at being able to put like Raspberry Pis in Eurorack now too. So, things like that. That's actually pretty cool. Because probably a few years ago you would think not going to happen. Like you're not going to put a Raspberry Pi in a Eurorack with a whole bunch of other modules because it would just literally, like all the other modules would just go, I don't have enough power.
Oh, come on, no one's going to put a Raspberry Pi in a Synth. Who would think of such a crazy idea?
I don't know, Korg. Sorry.
Speak of the devil.
Did you guys see the Florian video on the latest one he did on the Waves? Is it the Wave State Mark II? Yeah. And he's going, you might as well just buy the plug-in. The plug-in's like $49.
Nearly done
that. He's rubbishing the keyboard. He's rubbishing the tiny screen. He's rubbishing like a lot of things basically, and then he's saying like the whole thing you can just get in as a VST. It works on your computer. You can use any keyboard on your computer that you've got. That's got to be 10 times better than the crap that's in that Wave State. And the alternative with Korg, I'm not trying to rubbish Korg because I like Korg, but the alternative is if I want a better keyboard, I've got to get the SE edition. Have you? And the price difference, it's ridiculous.
Whoa. Yeah, the SE was.
So let's have a quick look at that. Wave State Mark II SE. Let's see. So the SE is like, so it's like $700 for the Wave State, and this is Australian dollars, so halve it for pounds, and it's about $3,000 for the SE edition. That's ridiculous. That's not right. Nah, 3,000 can't be right. Hang on, let me have a look at this. Oh, look, I can't live in this country. This is ridiculous. One website sells a Wave State Mark II for $700, and another website sells it for $1,249. This is what I mean about this CMI. This CMI company, they're ruining it for us over here.
The Wave
most of the Korg products I have bought have been from overseas, by the way.
Yeah, the Wavestate Mark II is $699 recommended retail, but that's not the street price.
Yeah.
The
And the SE?
Wavestate SE is $1,899
Yeah, that's $3,000.
street.
That's over $3,000 Australian.
It's ludicrous,
Yep.
absolutely
Yeah.
ludicrous.
That's the point I'm making. So
Yeah.
then that is purely so that you get a better keyboard and a couple of other things.
Rands, there's a better one. The Wavestate SE Platinum.
Oh yes.
Is
that's right.
$2,099. So it's even more.
But don't you get the freak travel case as well?
No, you get the plaque. You get the
Yeah,
serial number
you get
plaque.
the case. You get the hard, yeah, you do, and you get the you get the case, the wooden case,
and you open up the back of your, because everyone, like every time they use their synth, they open up the back of their synths to have a look inside. That's what everyone does. And we do it every day.
And
Oh, look at that
interestingly,
plaque inside.
Oh yeah, we do.
I
We
can't
open
sell
it up
them,
and say,
apparently.
has the batteries leaked yet? No. Capacitors leaked yet? No. Okay.
I mean, yeah, musicians do it when they get through the airport to like unload their drugs, but
Oh,
other
God.
than that,
yeah.
oh, I shouldn't have said that on YouTube, shouldn't I? Oops, I'm just giving away a 30-year-old music secret. Silly me.
We don't do drugs, kids. Not good for
It
you.
is fun to open up the old Mac Plus and the original 120K and see the signatures inside of it of all the developers.
Yeah,
So it is fun to take stuff apart sometimes.
Oh yeah. Sometimes there's cool messages written on the circuit boards, isn't there, Rance?
Oh yeah, you have like Vishnu or some other kind of deities on your circuit boards, and
Sometimes
I think,
it's just little ironic messages.
IntelliJ will do it.
Yep.
Make Noise do it. Just think, because they're the ones that you can easily see, because most modular stuff, you can see the circuit boards just by pulling it out of the box.
Dave Smith did a lot of his stuff.
Yeah, Dave Smith. Dave Smith used to
Mutable,
sign
of
the
course,
circuit
with all
boards.
the Indian stuff.
Yeah. We're going to miss Dave. He's awesome, that guy. Yeah. All right. Well, I think we should wrap up the show.
okay.
I think it's pretty good. We've done the meme for the year. We've announced news. I want to find out more about that little Gliss module. I reckon that'd be cool. Get my hands on that.
So is
Yeah, that was cool. I like that one.
did you say next week is going to be no show because of Christmas and stuff?
I'm pretty sure I'm not going to do a show next week. So yeah.
All right. Well, in that case, I have to do this now.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Hey.
My sleigh bells are not here, so.
Yeah, I was going to wear my
humbug.
special Christmas shirt too. But,
Enjoy your Christmas, everyone. If you do celebrate Christmas, and if you don't,
I didn't.
you know,
I
just
didn't wear
demand
my
people
horror
give you
Christmas
presents
sweater.
later.
It has one snowman disemboweling another one. So
Big Merry Christmas to the chatties. If you don't celebrate Christmas, big Merry week.
happy
Have a nice week.
happy vacation, happy holidays,
Yeah,
peace,
happy criminal.
peace, and mung beans to everyone.
All right, we shall bid you all farewell. Probably see you in a couple of weeks' time. Enjoy.
Sounds awesome.
Have a good Christmas.
Take
Bye.
care.
See ya.
Happy New Year. Good stuff.
I'll take care. Have a good one.
Swaying away.